Hey y'all, how is it going? It's Friday. Friday. And on a day in which we are doing viewer levels. Didn't know I was going there for the second. For a second. How you doing? It's Friday. Viewer levels at the normal time. I will say I've been doing my other streams. Oh, I was confused. Will Gamer Guy says I saw you in 3 streams today. Talking to Alterver Walter, who just got in a level. Will Gamer Guy also got in a level. And so did Highway Lighthouse 64. I was confused because I have not been in that many streams today. As far as I know, anyway. The chat 2 streams and Alterver Walter. Specifically. I got some shit in my mouth. Dinner. Yeah, definitely a little bit of sausage, I think. I'm just gonna swallow it. It's just sausage. Just a little bit stuck in my teeth, you know? How's everybody doing? It's viewer levels. And let me just run through some stuff. I got a fair amount of food in my mouth, turns out, that I didn't notice until I hit the go live button. Not familiar with those other streamers, but that's, you know, I'm sure like a lot of people, they go around, you know, you see them all over. Like I have watched a Mario Maker streamer before, you know, in order to get someone to play one of my levels, to watch it get play tested or whatever. And I have, you know, seen familiar faces in the chat, faces such as like Bowser, Tech is Amazing, folks like that. They just seem to pop up in a viewer level chat if you know, you watch closely enough. Okay, nice. The P-Switch level that I requested a couple weeks ago. Look forward to that. Let me say some things up top. First off, we're gonna finish Persona 5 Royale this weekend. That's right. So Persona 5 Royale, been playing it over the course of the last 4 months, since like mid-December is when we started it. Maybe like around Christmas time is when we started Royale, and it's like 4 months. It's like 4 months later now, and we're just to the point where we can now say, okay, one long, potentially long, I don't know how long it's gonna be. If it's like 3 hours, I guess it wasn't that much content. A stream that is as long as it needs to be. I'll say that. It'll be as long as it needs to be. We will get through the last of the stuff in the game. I have a thing actually prepared for this to like explain. There's 2 mementos targets. There's like 8 days left of like hanging out time. There's the final boss. There's the final treasure. There's probably a lot of cutscenes and things that are not quite, you know, full open gameplay. Like, I think final exams, Valentine's Day, those will be cutscenes, and we'll watch those. And then there will be the ending, and then it'll be over. And yeah, I think last I looked, I was like 150 hours in, as of like the last stream of that yesterday, and all that's coming to an end this Sunday. And I'm gonna start like 2 p.m. Central, and you know, go until it ends. That'll be that. And if you're wondering what comes after that, I got some. I'm probably gonna take Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or gonna take the first half of the week light. No full streams that first half of the week, but I might do like a Monday or Tuesday night making stream in which I start work on my next level. You know, this level is just about ready to go. Ne'er-do Nebula. So maybe there'll be a stream where I start working on the level after that, which is going to be Sunburned Sanctuary. Bonus Biome 1, Sunburned Sanctuary. So we might do a little stream middle of next week, maybe like an hour or 2 tops, of making, with maybe some viewer levels as well. Don't quote me on that though. No guarantees, no promises. but the queue will be maybe I'll open. I don't know. I'll think about it. Last time we actually kept the queue closed until towards the end of the stream where I said, you know, I'll take a few of them. And I think that was a good way of doing it, rather than just having the queue be open all the time, you know, through that whole making stream. I kind of like doing it that way, actually. And after that, we'll do Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 Deluxe, starting on that Thursday. And I'm thinking maybe that'll be a Monday thing going forward after that. I'm thinking maybe Monday Pikmin, and that'll be all 3 of the Pikmin games so far, all 3 of the main ones, 3 days at a time. So we'll go 3 days of each, and then we'll move on. And you know, I don't think we have to do like a full cycle on like every stream, right? We don't need to like end at Pikmin 1 for the next time to start on Pikmin 1. Maybe we'll go around like, but I do think we need to end on a first day of a new game. So, you know, the next time we pick it up, we know what day we're in, we know what game we're in, etc. So that'll start next Thursday. And then, of course, fewer levels will be the same as always. The same as before. I'm thinking of just keeping that on Fridays. I kind of like just the one. I could see trying to do like another one, but maybe not the same format as the Friday viewer levels. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. All up in the air right now, but it's an exciting time. You know, I've been playing this one playthrough for most of my streams for the last 4 months, and you know, with it finally being in the range of finishable, you know, options are open to do all sorts of stuff. Keep in mind, by the way, did you realize it's April Fool's Day in Japan? Be careful. If you see any news out of Japan right now, it might be bullshit. Also, if you see any news out of America in like, say, 6 hours from now, actually more like 5 hours from now, actually, it might also be bullshit. Keep aware of that. Keep aware of that. Make sure you're apprised of that. It's also April Fool's Day where Whoa Gamer Guy is. Australia. Oh, I didn't know you were Australian. That's fun. Australia is I know quite a few of Australians online, actually. Seems like, you know, well, I'll say that the people I know are cool. Seems like, I guess, if, you know what, I was about to say it seems like a cool place. People from there seem cool. But I guess, you know, I don't think there's any place someone could say that they're from where I wouldn't say, oh, that's cool. You know, I don't think there's an uncool place to be from. You know, no one's gonna say like, oh, I'm from, I guess you could say like, oh, it's, if you're just from like the Midwest or something, that's kind of regular. That's kind of not that remarkable. But I don't know, man. I know quite a few Australians. They seem cool. Kind of hell, I'm sure, to like interact with us in our time zones. You know, hey Jayhawk, how's it going? Final card before we get into the viewer levels, and also I'll show you the goddamn level. A follow-up on Ne'er-Do Nebula's progress. That is this level that you are seeing here. It's basically done. Now, I have been, like, on the verge of uploading it for, like, a week now. I did a bunch of tweaks to it. You know, I've been on the verge of uploading, but also, I've been making little tweaks to it every day along the way. So, let me show you the level, and I'll show you it from the start. And, by the way, if you don't know, if you didn't see the previous streams, I've shown off the Bowser fight in this one, but, this whole first section now is brand new. And, it's kind of weird because I built the boss first, and then from there I was able to say, like, okay, I know what enemies are in the level now. I know that we're gonna use dry bones, I know we're gonna have vines and other things. Ended up having some blue plats. Oh, and Also, we got these very important. We have these Koopalings who are sort of on rails, and they're sort of embedded into the ground, such that when you jump on them, they end up overlapping the ground, and that means they cannot live. They end up dying in a... Fuck me, I'm being careless. I swear to you, it's not that hard. I just have to be less bad. Anyway, these Koopalings, they're sort of embedded in the ground, such that when you jump on them, they just die. And also, I put one of each throughout the entire level. Often it turns out in pairs like this. There we go, that's how you're supposed to do it. Now, I will say this part is supposed to be a little bit hard, you know, because it is like the final Bowser. It's not the final Bowser, it's like the first Bowser fight. It's like the first K. Rool fight in a Donkey Kong Country game. That's sort of my touchstone here for this level. Except that it is also, like, built in the way that a Mario level is, where you have a bit of level, and then the boss fight. And that there is the bit of level. What do you think? Pretty good, right? I'm really happy with it. I think it kind of sets up, like, all the ideas that are in the boss fight here of, you know, vines, tires, and other such things. By the way, if you're wondering why the on-offs, they've changed to question mark blocks since the last stream. That's because I realized that you can cheese it by throwing a empty shell, you know, like a shellmet, into those on-off blocks. So I changed them to be one use only, basically. This one is the final one of these left and right cases, and you know, you have to do a P block thing, which I think is pretty fun. Then you get a little setup here. And finally, you drop down here. If you're wondering, like, why there are dry bones in the walls, and there weren't last time, the reason is because, they are generating the music. Those guys are generating the music for the boss fight here. Just in case Bowser goes off screen, the music will not stop. If the music stops, it's a glitch. It's a glitch, and I would be very annoyed. Ah! Also, I added these power-ups down here. You can see in the corner. There's one per side, extra shellmet, as well as an extra mushroom. It's still challenging as a boss fight, I think, but it's maybe a lot more doable now. And of course, also it has a checkpoint. You know, this whole level has a mid boss checkpoint. You know, in the middle of the boss sequence after all the falling. Also, another thing that was important to the design of this, putting the door on the ground rather than up there where the shell would hit you. That solves a lot of... Also, you can just jump up here, and you can hear that the heartbeat continues to play, no matter what. I don't know why that is, because usually if you get too far off screen from, like, a enemy, the music effects stop playing. Hello, Wall Kid, how you doing? But these things don't stop playing, I don't know why. Honestly, don't know why. They just work, I guess. Go figure. I had to have a lot more dry bones for it to work for the Bowser music reliably, but those ones, they work a lot more reliably. Finally, just a little last section of the stage. Maybe I should make this more interesting, but I don't know. It doesn't have to be, I think. I think just, you know, I put these guys so that you're delayed a little bit, so you should be getting to the end by the time it's around the top. And then you can jump on the tire and get the pole if you like. Nothing really fancy, but that's, it doesn't need to be. The level itself is already very detailed. That's pretty much ready for upload. I just haven't found the time with Persona, with other things. I went to see John Wick on Wednesday, and because I did that, I didn't have time to upload it. naturally, I was, you know, I've been sleeping at pretty early times recently. Though yesterday I did a long stream, so I was up until like you know, I was up until like 2 a.m. or something, but still I don't know like how late we'll go here or how late I'll be awake. But I am trying to slowly push it back, the schedule back to like where I like it, you know, something more normal. That's the maker update. Let's get into these viewer levels. Let me tell you how it's done. If you are here when your level comes up, I give it the full time of day, which outside the lightning round means 15 minutes plus 5 last tries, if that's not enough. If you are not here, we still play the level, but we do so in very nearly but not quite sudden death. In which I only have 2 tries to beat the level, refreshing at checkpoints. Just a little fun way to prioritize the people who are here, while also playing more levels, which is, you know, fun. First level up is Whoa Gamer Guy. Whoa Gamer Guy. Go ahead and... Well, actually, he was here a minute ago. I'm sure Whoa Gamer Guy is still about. In Australia. What time is it? Isn't Australia? It's like Japan, where it's like 13, 14 hours behind or ahead or something, right? It's the kind of like time difference where it's basically like halfway around, and it's hard to conceptualize like, are they before or behind? You know? If you think of it like one way, they're probably like fewer hours one way than the other, which is so weird to like to process, you know? It's like 14 hours behind or ahead. I forget which. But it should probably be the other way. It should probably be 9 hours ahead or behind, except that, you know, they're a day ahead, then it's hard to contemplate that sort of time zone difference. Must be like morning time, I would guess? Morning time? It's either morning time or really late at night where you are. Whoa, Gamer Guy. Oh, I see you got the flag there as well. Now that you mention it, let's go ahead and put 15 minutes. The first person of the night I usually count as here. That's fine, and also, you know, they're usually here. Okay, what is going on? Oh, okay, I see what we're doing. I got hold down the Y and duck into the thing. I can't avoid these mushrooms now, can I? No, also it's impossible. It's fun? That's good. Oh, this... How should I hold the controller? This is a little difficult. I got... God damn it. Okay. How the fuck do I hold down these buttons all at once? Oh, you know what? I'll use the stick. For once. Okay. Kind of easier to do like this. But also, hold white. Yeah, I have to... It's hard to hold the buttons. See you later, Walla Kid. Oh, I can mash Y and B at the same time. I can totally mash Y and B at the same time, maybe. Ah! This is hell on my hands. Jesus. I'm gonna do another card and let's talk about it. Hey, did you watch the Tears of the Kingdom direct? Let's talk about that shit. That was a good-ass direct, you know, I'm really feeling excited about that game now. Not that I wasn't before, but, you know, it seems like they're really leaning into the sandbox aspects of that game. and, you know, blowing up basically the amount of items that you can make or use or have in that game. Seems pretty cool. I can't wait to combine a sword and a sword to make a double sword. Hello, Mikes with a real... Yes, go ahead and submit the level. I am really not figuring out this whole hold several directions at once. You know what I can do? Actually, I just thought of something. I'm gonna try... Pro tip. Pause. Right. Y. Oop. Okay. Look at that. Pro tips. Not quite pro tip enough. Okay. So yeah, it was a really good direct. I'm really excited to see everything they brought to bear. A lot of weird new tech in play. Oh wow, if I use X to do the cancellation, to like do the run button, that also like automatically like takes me into the gameplay. That's actually pretty convenient. Looking forward to mashing all sorts of weird items together. I think that's gonna be really cool. I gotta use the right finger to do the run button. Ultra hand, all that stuff. I'm not sure, like, I don't know, like, how... I'm not sure, like, how much we're actually gonna be ultra handing in that game, right? Like, it's gonna be, like, an all-the-time thing, and it's like, oh, I need to go somewhere. I'm gonna put together a car, and that's how I go. Is that gonna be the thing? Or is it just, like, a once-in-a-blue moon when you're feeling, like, you know, you're feeling funny, you know? Like, oh, I'm gonna build a car just for fun. Like, how good are those actual vehicles gonna be as far as, like, actually using them goes? Are they gonna be actually useful for getting around, or is it just gonna be, like, a fun thing to, like... Because they said, like, in the thing, like, oh, here's an example where you might ultra hand a river. Oh, but wait, there's a bunch of stuff around this river, which, you know, hey, first off, not every river might have that stuff around it, right? Not every river might have logs and propellers and a, you know, a literal... There were literal, like, hot air balloons. Where do you find a hot air balloon in the world of Hyrule? Bam! There we go. Oh, that was kind of uncomfy on my hand, you know? GG indeed. Where do you find hot air balloons in Hyrule? I'm really not sure. Press more info to see how long it took you to do. So it took me 9 seconds. Clear time, 9 seconds. It looks like mine might have been, I'm not sure. Was I faster than that? I think I might have been faster than that. Let me check. Yeah, 9962. 9962. 99. Nope, I'm slower. 9920. Just by a scotch, just by a very slight fraction of a second. Anyway, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. It's looking sick. They haven't showed us anything about the dungeons yet, but you know, I feel like that's just par for the course. They didn't do that with Breath of the Wild either, and you know, if they have a surprise that's half as good as with Breath of the Wild's dungeons, I think that would be rad. Anyway, really looking forward to that game. Slower by 2 frames. Dang. Really looking forward to that game, you know. What exactly they can pull out. Them leaning into the sandbox elements. I do wonder, like, how much other sandbox stuff is in there. I hope it's more fun stuff, more weird interactions, more weird stuff. Highway, you're up. This is the P-switch. the P-switch level you were talking about a couple minutes ago. That's Tears of the Kingdom. We're really looking forward to it. Let's talk about the next thing that happened. E3 was canceled. Act surprised. Not a terrible surprise. You know, it's just C3C 6XY. Not a terrible surprise, honestly. Highway, you're here, right? Let me add Highway just for Highway. You're up. Mike's is really hyped about the Mario movie. That's next week, isn't it? Hello, Justice. How you doing? Yeah. It's not a surprise that E3 is like not happening. It hasn't happened in several years, and everyone who would like prop it up, like the console makers, the big companies that do pressers, they're all not going. And if Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony and Ubisoft and everyone else doesn't go to E3, there is no E3. There's one last piece of like topical news that I wanted to like touch on. Hey, that Donald Trump, he got indicted the other day. It seems like it's real. It might stick to him. I think that I heard that he's surrendering. Okay. Fuck, that's probably a good thing. Sure, I like to hear it. I don't really have any big thoughts on it beyond that. Other than like, yep, probably good. I don't know. I heard people saying like, oh, if he gets convicted, he won't be able to run for office or something. Or run for president or something. I don't know if that's true. That might be just people talking. And I saw this on like The Onion. Trump executed. The Onion. The Onion, by the way, it's they make up stuff. It's parody. It's parody. And I saw that and I thought it was funny. That's all I have to say about that, honestly. I saw it and I thought it was funny. That's basically true of the actual news story there, not just the parody, but also the news story. Yeah, that's good. Donald Trump, he defrauded a lot of people, and it's only right that he get his comeuppance. Comeuppance? That's not how you say that. Comeuppance. Wait, Highway, we haven't heard from Highway in a bit, have we? Highway, you know the drill. I'm gonna put you into sudden death. Whenever you say anything, I'll take you out of sudden death. So, obviously I asked for this level, so I'm sure I will play it, if not tonight, some other time, but Jesus. We gotta be cautious here. So basically, I asked Highway to make I suggested to him he make a highway, he make a level where he used P blocks in the same ways that he uses red and blue blocks in normal levels. And want to see how that turned out. And here it is. Seems cool so far. I like the way that it routes the player. Ooh. Oh, I like... Beautiful. That was pretty well timed. Now, my understanding is... Not sure if this is... Yes. No one yet has finished this level. So, maybe we will be the first. If we get, like, exceptionally... If we do this exceptionally fast. Not so. Thank you, Highway. Highway, if you want to speak up right now, I'll start a timer and continue the level. Let me just like at you. Highway Lighthouse. Are you here? Otherwise, protocol is that we... Hey, Highway's here! Cool. AFK, yeah, I thought so. We'll put, we already spent, like, how long would you say we spent? I can only do timers in increments of 5 minutes, so let's do a 10-minute timer then. And the timer is just a little bit off from where it usually is, because I guess... I forget what I have the 10-minute timer set up for, but the 10-minute timer... Oh yeah, there was a time where I was thinking about doing, like, a 10-minute timer in addition to, like, the lightning round. So it's set up so that the timer wouldn't overlap with the lightning round, stuff. No problem, dude. It's okay. Wait, what happened? The guy didn't go off. Bro was in the back rooms. Yeah, that happens. That happens. I'm working on setting up some HUD stuff for the Pikmin streams that are coming up. Working on some of that stuff. I made like a little... So of course, you know, like I said, the concept is Pikmin... Whoa, there's more guys this time. Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 Deluxe, one day at a time where... Oh shit. Where, Oh nice, I got a checkpoint. Those 3 games, one at a time, wherein, this is pretty well tuned, actually. It's very, very feasible to do each of the segments in one go. And also, they do respawn. And if you want to do something like, let it... Fuck. Yeah, we probably should have let it respawn there. Whatever. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so there'll be like some funny HUD elements during that to indicate like what game we're on, what day we're on, and also like set up the rules, basically. You know, say something to the extent of every 3 days we switch games. And then some sort of indicator of like what day we're on, you know, per cycle. I'm not sure if I'm going with like words, you know, if it's just gonna be like the words day 1 of 3 or something like that, or if it's gonna be like 3 little suns that, you know, 3 little, like, circles that get filled with suns as we do each day. I'm still working out the details of that. That'll be next. What are we doing here? Thank you, Justice. What's with the... I don't get that part yet, but let's work it out. Made up there on the 1? Yeah, that I did, I suppose. So I'm gonna stick here for a second. Added to in case player goofed. Oh, okay, so it's not like a go right and then go left and then go right situation or something. It's just there as a little bit of padding, a little bit of insurance. I guess we're going up. Ah, okay, yeah. That looked a little high to my eyes, so I didn't really... I guess I didn't figure it was viable. Whoa! Nearly fell there. There was a pit there. Hey, let's do a card. Ordered one of those clean and dirty magnets. You know the ones that say like clean or dirty on them? You put them on your, like, your dishwasher, and then you don't forget that that the dishes are clean, and you shouldn't put dirty dishes in there. I keep forgetting that whenever I do dishes these days. I mean, my dishwasher in my apartment doesn't, like, make a sound or anything when it finishes, so whenever the dishes are ready, I often just forget them, and I only remember, like, hours later, like, oh, yeah, that's right. And if I forget entirely and just put dirty dishes in there, it kind of sucks. So I bought one. Not that, big of a thing, but, should be handy. And, also, I don't know why I didn't get one many, many, many years ago, you know? One time I was, like, shopping on Etsy at, like, on, like, a person's who makes, like, magnets or something. Magnetic devices type things. And, they made a bunch of, like, Majora's Masks. The masks from Majora's Mask, right? They made a bunch of the masks from Majora's Mask, and I bought a couple of them, and I also saw that they had clean and dirty magnets. So I guess the thought has been in my head since I saw that. But I just bought them off Amazon because, 2-day shipping. I'd rather get here sooner rather than, like, later. Which, if I got it from the same Etsy that I got the Majora's Mask magnets from, it would be a while because I think they're in, like, I think they're in Europe. I think they're Spanish. They're in Spain or something. Those, the magnet maker on Etsy. Really cool Majora's Mask magnets, by the way. I have them on my fridge. It's pretty sick. They are pretty sick. Let's do it. It's all very well timed, I think, and very well put together. I like it. Let's see now. Not quite sure. Just a little bit slow there. Oh, there's a Bowser. I'm just gonna have to do a running jump here. Not far enough. Crap. How about another card? Stop everything and upload Ne'er-Do Nebula right fucking now. Fuck it, says this card. In 2 minutes and 19 seconds we'll do that. After this level, we'll upload Ne'er-Do Nebula. I have to do the clear checks for that. And then, we'll just hit upload, and y'all can check it out after that. It's ready. And also, even if it's not, it's better to put it out. See how people take it, see if people like it. See the feedback from it. And then, go from there in revisions. So, that's gonna be the plan. That's what we're gonna do right after this one. Levels will be... We'll wait until the clear check is done. Shouldn't take too long, I already played through it once for y'all. And then I just have to do it perfectly. And, do it for each of the checkpoints, and then there it will go. Just gonna reset again. Yikes! Interesting that you can wait on the cloud for P-switch. Didn't consider that. Oh, I thought that was intentional. I thought that was intentional with the timing. There's another place you could wait. You could wait on the chocolate. The chocolate, yes, that dry bones is an ass. I agree. The original key jump was almost timing. Well, it was almost impossible. You made it once on like 15 attempts. Dang. Yeah, you need to... Sometimes you need to redesign things after you build them, You build them, you find out if they work, and if they don't, just... That works, it's fine. That's just I beefed it. Also, by the way, I was gonna mention earlier, like, not to look at the tags where it says level upload on, as one of the tags, but, yeah, we're uploading a level. After this try, we'll go to 5 last tries, and then we'll do the upload. And then y'all can check out the level. I'll try just going fast. Oh, look at that, we can just go fast. What? The bullet bills didn't appear there. They appeared that time, it's fine. Whatever happened, not important. They can be a little inconsistent, bullet bills. If they're spawned once, they won't necessarily respawn until they're off-screen. I understand them giving you trouble. I don't know what these on-offs are for. I think they're just there for fun, I would guess. There we go. We refresh the P switch before running for it. Good, we made it through. Hey, there's a checkpoint. Oh, what? Alright. That's easy. A Bowser fight. Did I say? I did say give me a Bowser fight at the end, didn't I? I did say this. Oh, also I see if you like race the P switch and make it to the here on time, you can get a star to beat Bowser in one go. Nice. That's an interesting way to do a boss fight. I like it. It's got a quick kill, but it's only if you like do the previous segment perfectly, as you know. For the world record, whenever someone does, like, get a better time than this, which, you know, I'll say, like, this is not a great time. I died a number of times. Whenever someone does an actual solid-ass world record run, let's go. Whenever someone does a world record run, wait, I should have went back through the door and, you know, gotten the star. That would have helped. There's more? Okay, good. Not that much more. We've done it. Alright, thank you for the level highway. First clear 10 minutes and 34 seconds. So yeah, that was not... Well, that was not all one try. There were a couple tries before we got to the checkpoint. So yeah, we probably spent like 15 minutes on it. All in all. Like I said, we're gonna take a minute. We're gonna do some, I'm gonna upload this level. And I'm gonna hit next, though, so we know who's up next after this one. And it's Alter Verwalter. I see Alter Verwalter. Whatever happens, however long this upload takes, you will get the full time of day when your level comes up. Keep that in mind. I'm gonna change this to be the minimized queue is open thing. Maybe there should be some sort of, like... No, I don't think I can actually do that. Anyway, let's just do the clear checks. I'm just gonna do it really quick. Basically, when I do a clear check, I want to do it as fast as I can, while also getting all the optional collectibles along the way. That is basically my goal here, to do a good run through the level that approximates a normal playthrough, not a speed run, that gets everything, and is also just about as quick as you can be, while not making any mistakes. Any major mistakes. So let's do it. One thing that I will note, just a small detail, is that this level ended up having some funny similarities in, like, its mechanics to 2 of the previous 3 levels. And I felt like Meteor Meltdown was a little bit left out. So I add some blue plats like that level has, in addition to the vines and the tires that the vines and the tires, which are present in Cold Ice Comet, and the on-off tomfoolery that's a big deal in Abyssal Asteroid. Thought that sort of ties the whole world together, just to have all, you know, those 3 levels sort of give you, you know, a little bit of a head start going in. By the way, Secret 50 up there. It's well hidden. Give you a little bit of, you know, it makes sense to, like, have those through lines, I think, run through worlds like that. You know, I like to do little shit like that to, make connections between the levels. Very good. Here we are at the checkpoints. And by the way, as we do the clear checks, you'll see how the 3 checkpoints, all those work. The boo wheels, by the way, they're not just for aesthetics. They are also an invincible enemy that that can play music for us. So they are one of the things that are upholding the boss music for us, keeping the boss music getting played. You. This. Well, fuck. Okay. Sometimes you can go under him when he's up on the thing. I think that's pretty cool. This battle is going just about well. Haven't wasted any Koopa shells. I believe this one might be the last one. There we go. Didn't need that other one. This level is awesome. Thank you. I think so, too. It came out really great. Pop through the final thing. And... beautiful! Even got the 1-up. That was a perfect clear check. Nothing wrong with it. I think that's a perfectly representative time of how long this level can take when played without mistakes or hesitation. Oh, by the way, from the checkpoint, you actually have to go to, like, a slightly different area to start the boss fight. This area gives you a power-up. Gives you your 2 power-ups, actually. And, thank you for the follow. Disorientia. Oh, by the way, when we're clearing from the other checkpoints, we don't need to go get all the items, all the collectibles. We can just jam it. I'm really happy with this Bowser fight. It came out just as I, you know, always imagined it would. Sort of a Baron K. Rulenstein type thing, where you go left and right repeatedly, and, you know, go from level to level, either going above Bowser or below Bowser. Very Baron K. Rulenstein, and the final phase of the fight is going back and forth under him. Yikes. Okay, there's just enough room to go under. Final phase of this fight after the checkpoints is you just, you know, going back and forth like a couple of more times. And it's nice. Okay. This will be the second longest of the clear checks, since the last one is the mid-boss. I also had to make sure to only give the player power-ups they could not use to cheese the boss fight. So you don't have a fire flower, you don't have like a cape. You don't have anything you can use to fly. I'm gonna grab this now. Perfect. Thought that was all a good idea in order to keep it from being like cheesable, to make sure the boss fight went exactly as designed. You know, you can carry a shell met into the arena, or like, you know, there's certain times if you already have a shell met, you could throw it at Bowser. I'm not really sure how much time that saves. You know, maybe if you did that with like all the shell mitts, it would save you like a single cycle of going left and right. I'm not really sure, you know, how the math works out there. You can see there, by the way, when you start from the checkpoint, Bowser's right there. He spawns from basically, the first time you come through, he's being blocked from spawning by a blue block that, you know, doesn't start this cycle on. So he's able to spawn, and that's how I did a mid-fight checkpoint, with the illusion of the same Bowser appearing. Pretty sick, if I do say so myself. I wouldn't be surprised if the world record, whenever there's a world record, if those shells, like, if saving a shell here and there, like, actually saves you time. But, you know, in any case, I just think it's kind of fun to... Yeah, also, there's kind of, like, nothing you can do about it besides just giving away the shell mitts, the shell helmets in a very specific way such that you can't use extra ones. There we go. Beautiful. I can't resist getting the 50, even though it's dangerous. One time during clear checking, I just dropped into that pit right there, right of the tire, and I died, and I felt so wrecked, so out of it. Just okay, I'm not doing any more clear checking right now. Upload it later. And there it is. Okay, so Koopaverse 5, Ne'er-Do Nebula. That is the name. I love the name. The name is great. You know the term ne'er-do-well? That's where it comes from. It's a great name. Bowser's Tower hides amongst the swirling clouds of this nefarious nebula. Perfect description. There's the name, there's the description. Perfect. It's a standard boss battle. Perfect. Wonderful. There's the code, folks. Go ahead and punch that in. You can also just punch in my maker code and it'll be my latest one. Yeah, there's the level. I don't intend on updating the super world quite yet. But the super world will be updated in some time. I gotta set it all up, you know, such that you know, this world is all set up, and also World 8 isn't there, you know, because otherwise I can't upload. I have to remove World 8. And also, my plan right now is to do one round of revisions on, like, a couple of levels that need them. Just, like, I'm not sure how many of them, but I'm just gonna do the round of revisions now, after World 7, rather than at the end after World 8. So, that'll be coming up as well. And probably I'll do the revisions, and then, probably what I'll do is I'll do the revisions, and then I'll, like, do a round of revisions on Ne'er-Do Nebula, maybe, depending on, like, if there are any to make. If, like, YouTube... I'll submit it to, like, some streams, and I'll see what people think of it, what people make of it, if they have trouble with any parts, you know, etc., etc. And then I will delete and re-upload, and then it'll all become official. Alright. The level is up. Look at that. I have this thing I can do where I can pull up the progress of the super world. You can see there, it says 35 out of 40 and 6 out of 8 worlds. Check that. 35 out of 40, and 7 out of 8. That's pretty cool. I would have to go to my disk to edit it. I'll edit it later. Check out the Super World. It's pretty sick. A couple levels are about to get revisions, so look for that as well. I would really love it if those revised levels got some attention too, such that they such that they regain some of the hearts and likes that they're about to lose. I do this thinking that what's your favorite Super World level? That's a tough question. I think my answer... I think the first one I made is, like, really fucking good. That is the second level in the Super World. That is, Crumble Rumble. I think Crumble Rumble is, like, supremely, incredibly tight and cool and cinematic and memorable. And, you kind of want your level 2 to be that much of a bomb-ass level. I'd also say that I think that in World 4... I have a like real like fondness for World 4's 4-2 basically. That is Pirates Peak 2. What is it called? It's called Frigid Frigate. That one, it was really cool. I think I'm really fond of the way that level plays with contrast rather than one like solid thing. Basically, the indoor segments are fast-paced, and the outdoor segments are slow-paced. And I think that ended up really interesting in a way that, like, there aren't very many other levels in my Super World that are that way. Usually in a Super World, you take one idea, you take two ideas, and then you combine them together in all sorts of ways. That's the one Super World level that has, like, okay, here's one idea, and here's another idea, and never the two shall meet. Never the two shall meet. Maybe that's just me, though. Liking it for its like, for how non-traditional it is and how much it stands out design-wise. Pirates Plunder is up there. Yeah, Pirates Plunder is... It's not Pirates Plunder, is it? No, it's, what's it called? What is that level? It's not Pirates Plunder. It's Pirates Peak 3. Plunder Blunder, that's it. And I think that Pirates Peak 2, Frigid Frigate is up there. There's an argument to be made for... I think there's a good argument to be made for Snorkel Speedway as far as, like, making a really fun and unique water level. Like, that's really rare and really cool. I also have a real fondness for Grave Gauntlet as being a triumph of some real fucking out there design. Though, Grave Gauntlet does need a minor patch. Wow, you really need to have some likes. I'm gonna give you some by sending to streamers. Wow, thank you. If you want, just let me know if Mike is a real. If you're in the Discord ever and you do that, send me a timestamp of like when you do. I'd love to watch like some of those, especially the newer ones that I'm still like looking to do revisions of. I'd like to see like what they make of it. That'd be swell. Yeah, this one especially, like this last one, Abyssal Asteroid. Abyssal Asteroid really needs some plays. I'll tell you, like, I probably don't shop around my own levels as much as I used to. Like, as far as, like, since I've been streaming, this has been my main Mario Maker playtime. Time was, I also did a lot of, like, Reddit level share stuff. And, watch an occasional streamer or so as well. And, if you don't do that stuff, maybe your levels don't get around quite as much. You can see there's a big jump here between, like, oh, this is the last level I made before I was a streamer. This is the first level I made after I was a streamer. What's your Discord? Well, let me tell you. Go ahead and put _Discord in the chat. It's also, like, in my About panel. Like, if you scroll down on the Twitch page, you'll see, like, a bunch of links and stuff. Some of those lead to the Discord. Anyway, Frosted Forest. There's a good argument for Frosted Forest. I really love that one. But if I had to choose one, it's the most popular level in the Super World. It's Crumble Rumble. It's literally twice as popular as the one right after it, made like a week later, you know? So it is just that damn good that it is like, you know, punching over double of its contemporaries. And more than the level 1 even, which, you know, is the most played of the Super World, obviously. If only barely. I guess that's also part of it. It's the second world in the Super World. A lot of people apparently get 2 levels in and then, like, you know, stop finding the time, I guess, question mark? Come back and finish the whole thing. It's very good. Though it's also not complete yet, so whatever. Sorry for the tangent. Hope you didn't mind, Alter for Walter. Let's do this next level as I said I would. H. As I said I would. As, of course, I will and always have done when it comes to Mario Maker viewer levels. Salasia's Cannonball Adventure. Easy clear rate. Let's go. I'm going to put the timer up. Also, I'm going to pop a card and talk about what's on it. Meaning the finish, Mario and Luigi. Oh, I like this good luck made out of the cannons. That looks really sick. That looks really cool. Those are cool to make letters out of, actually. Okay, don't lose the cannonballs. What we're learning here. So yeah, started playing Mario and Luigi. Wait. Started playing Mario and Luigi a little bit ago. Started playing Mario and Luigi. Also, I just noticed that I usually have this volume a little higher. I'll adjust it a little bit in a minute. I started playing Mario and Luigi since it was on the on Nintendo Switch Online, you know, on the Switch now. It's on the Switch, Mario and Luigi. I'm most of the way through it. I'm in the Bowser's Castle, and I have been taking it slowly, like going like another GG there, taking it like one Koopaling at a time. But I still got like 4 or 5 of them left, so I really need to get back into there and actually like finish the fucker off. I haven't had that much time this week for other video games other than Persona and like Marvel Snap, honestly. Really need to do a bunch of them that I've sort of fallen off on. Thank you for the level. I'm gonna hit complete and hell yeah. Next up, Mike's is with a reel. You're up. Mike's with a reel just said GG. Perfect. Let me tell you about another game I'm meaning to finish, Metroid Fusion. Yeah, I'm too like towards the end game of that. I've gotten like most of the items, most of the major upgrades, beaten like most of the bosses. I just haven't, you know, gone the rest of the way. Like I said, I haven't really found the time to play any of those GBA games in like a week or so, and I need to remember that I am playing those, and you know, whenever I have a minute to just play a game idly while listening to a podcast or a audiobook, which I'm nearly done with a bunch of audiobooks I've been rereading. I'll talk about those later, you know, as I do. But yeah, Metroid Fusion, I love it to death. I am finding, like, I think I like it more than I did at the time, honestly, just like the structure of it. I don't mind that it's linear to a fault. You know, I don't mind that it's linear to a fault anymore. I remember as a kid, I was definitely pretty, like, weird about that. I say weird. You know, the fact that it directs you around and it, like, makes you go through the cutscenes every time to, like, find out, like, oh, what's going on here, etc. It's not great, but I'll say, like, you know, you always know where you're going. you always know like basically where you're going, and you do get to do some Metroid exploration stuff in order to find like how exactly you get to where you want to go, which is enough for me. You know, I don't need to get lost. I just want to play the game and have a good time. I do think like Fusion, that the Zero Mission, and and Metroid Dread, they do a better job of like managing that structure. You know. Thank you for the level, Mike's. I'm gonna hit complete and then get the next one up. But I still... Oh, I forgot to do the timer. That's fine. It was a short one. Sometimes I forget to do the timer. Yeah. Nice little traditional level. Go ahead and hit next here. Next up is Justice. Justice does not appear to be here. I'm gonna at Justice and say you are up. Like always, the rules are the same. You know, if you're not here, I still play the level, so I'm gonna enter it in now. But it'll be in sudden death, so you know, fewer tries. I'm gonna do another card while I write it up. Been meaning to finish Kirby Dream Land 2. That's another one of those Game Boy games that came out recently, and I started into it. I'm in the last area, I think, and I think it's really good. I went back to like Kirby's Dream Land 3 after it. And I think just the way it feels is better in Dreamland 2, actually, despite it being a lot simpler of a game and having fewer power-ups, having fewer like you know, animal buddies that you jump onto. You know, having fewer combinations, therefore, it feels better as a game, I think, and I was kind of surprised to realize that, you know, going back to Dreamland 3. There's something that feels a little bit stilted about Dreamland 3 relative to Dreamland 2. Maybe it was the introduction of, like, double tap to run, which kind of feels a little bit clunky in the first time it appears in Dreamland 3, because it, the walk speed ends up being very, very slow. Ends up being very, very slow. Once they introduce the double tap, and that can be a bit of a bummer. Ah. But yeah, I'm working my way through it. The one thing I'll say that I was surprised about going back into it is that it doesn't seem like there's a sword ability. There's sword enemies. Hello, Ratchet Toad. There's sword enemies in Dreamland 2, but there's not. So far, I haven't been. Fuck me. I haven't been able to copy them. I haven't been able to actually swallow them up and turn them into a power-up. Really? They like they get all resistant on me. Thank you for the level, Justice. I died like a absolute dick. Right the fuck away. My bad. Those guys were tough to jump over. It turns out. You made it hard. You know what you did. Next up, let me go to the next person. Get the fuck out of here. There we go. That was the button. Next person. You quit after 3 tries. Ratchet Toad, how it works is that if someone's not here, it becomes sudden death. If someone's not here when their level comes up, we do very nearly but not quite sudden death, in which I only get 2 tries. And that's the rule. If you are here when your level comes up, you get the full time of day. Just a little way of balancing, like, the people who are here versus, you know, playing more levels. I always want to play more levels. Highway Lighthouse, you are up. Highway Lighthouse. Highway Lighthouse. You are up. You know, we also now got the... One thing I didn't mention as far as, like, what's coming up is that we do have a follower goal for 500 followers. We're at what, like, what are we at right now? Is it like... Oh, it's just short of 440. So 60 more, and we'll do, like, a big, I'm planning a big stream where I do, like, a bunch of rare games in, like, a BizHawk shuffler all at once. So a bunch of my favorite games of all time, plus it's Mr. Pants in a shuffler where I switch between them randomly every let's say every minute or two. We'll say every minute or two. That's how we'll do it. Highway, highway, highway. Here's another card. Been meaning to finish Pokemon Violet post-game stuff. Just another game I can play idly and just, you know, very easily, like, plow through it. All I need to do is, like, take my level 70 Pokemon, go to the gym, just use them, type, you know, match type appropriately, and then just win. And then I'll unlock some sort of endgame thing. And then I can get the thing where there's, like, special raids with special Pokemon. I think I already missed getting one of those ones that are, like, the legendaries. The new legendaries that are, like, you know, future legendaries or past legendary. I really thought that the past legendary looked cool. I would have really loved to do, like, a raid where I, you know, where I also catch the Pokemon at the end in addition to the person who, you know, has the version of it that has the prehistoric Pokemon. But I guess I missed that by, like, a couple weeks. So I guess I won't be able to get that. Kind of a shame, but, you know, I guess I never have been, like, a long-term Pokemon player. I play it through the campaign. I think, oh, that was great. I really enjoyed it. That's, like, top 10 of the year. And then I move on. I know there are people probably that don't move on, and, you know, more power to them. Hey, there is Highway. Let's do 15 minutes. Hidden Oasis. Treasure Dive. Very nice. I always worry with these streams, right? You know, like, especially with a stream where, oh, I like the theming here of it being a underwater section. Literally underwater, under a desert. That's, kind of fun. I like it. Good, like, premise. Good set dressing. What's the word? How do we phrase that? Good conceit. There we go. That's how we say it. A nice conceit. Ah. A lot of games. I sometimes worry going into these streams I won't have enough cards to, like, you know, get through a couple hours of streaming, right? Because, like, especially, like, on these streams that come so soon after the Thursday stream, which I had, like, you know, as many cards, but I generated those over the course of, like, 3 days, you know, between streams. In this case, I just had to come up with a bunch of cards in, like, less than 24 hours. But, you know, it doesn't take that long, it turns out, to think, like, oh, let me just talk about all the games I've been playing and that I forgot about. You know, like, let me talk about, you know, all these GBA games, which, whoops, I totally forgot I was playing because I've just been so preoccupied with other things. Okay, so there's on-off here. I'm expanding upon the concept even more. New Super Mario Brothers Desert, where the bones and fossils terrain makes up. Should I worry about that guy? Is that guy a danger on the ground like in other themes, or is he just harmless if he's like, if you're on the ground? I'm not sure. Yeah, that sort of breaks your expectations. Oh, Jesus, we gotta fucking concentrate here. These guys are motherfuckers. One more card. while playing this level. Meaning to finish Metroid Prime Remastered. Shit, yeah, that's another game that would be good for, like, just, you know, a podcast or, like, a, you know, whenever I have just, like, free time to just play a video game as I listen to something or watch something. And I never did finish. At the time, I was also playing a bunch of, when that came out, I was also playing a bunch of, like, Metroid Prime randomizers, just by sheer coincidence. I literally was playing, like, a Prime 2 randomizer before... Look! Before, I made it out. Before, you cannot jump on those guys. Have you checked the trees? You love the GBA. You modded yours with an HDMI out. That's pretty cool. I would think that it would be a little too small for that. I should check the trees just to be safe. I might have checked one earlier on. No coins in trees. Good, okay. They're just there for the decorative aspect. You know, they're just aesthetic. Is it aesthetic or aesthetic? No, I said aesthetic, aesthetic, and that obviously is wrong, isn't it? Is that a... Wait, is that Pokey Sandy? I didn't know that Pokies in 3D World were literally like, you know, dropping sand as they go. That's interesting. Anyway, yeah, Prime Remastered. Really need to get back to that and just, you know, slowly work my way through it. We were like 20% done. What's next? Watch John Wick Part 4. Yeah, I went to the movies, like, on Wednesday after work. And, went and saw John Wick Part 4. Pretty fucking cool action movie. Lots of cool, action scenes. I really like the two new characters, the two new assassins. There's, like, the guy with a dog. He was really cool. You know, makes sense. John Wick and dogs. That just is like a series. That's just like how it should go in this series. There was also a blind hitman, which I guess is like their follow-up to the deaf hitman from like two movies ago, who was pretty cool. You know, a blind hitman using like various tricks and like stuff to get his orientation and figure out where people are that he has to kill. That was pretty fucking sick. I enjoyed very much watching him kill people and watching John Wick kill people. There were a couple really memorable fights. I was gonna say scenes, but let's be real. Fights, combat, action scenes. A couple really memorable, really like high concept ones just mixed in there, which I thought were nice. I'm not sure if it's a spoiler to say, like, they go to Osaka in part of it, and I thought it was cool when they did that, because, like, I've been to Osaka, you know, like, they do the establishing shot, in, like, Dotonbori, I think is it Dotonbori or Sotenbori? I always forget which one is the real location in Osaka, and which one is the Yakuza version of it that has, you know, a parody name, basically. You know, not exactly the same name, but similar enough. There's Dotonbori and there's Sotenbori. I think Sotenbori is the not real one, Dotonbori is the real one. That establishing shot was not too far from the hotel I stayed in Osaka. But apparently, you know, I will say the one thing that was weird about the Osaka Continental is that it seemed like it was kind of in the middle of nowhere. you know, on a big plot of land. And I've been to that section of Osaka. It's kind of like that section of New York that the other Continental is in. There's not, like, huge plots of land to build big things on. It is a pretty background, isn't it? Do I need to save this thing? No, you can use it whenever, I guess, to get out of dodge. Ah! Cool. Okay, we got that. Anyway, I will say that there was a lot in that movie where I was kind of like, just, okay, I know this stuff is cool, but could you just get to the fight scene now? I just would like to see some shooting of people. And, you know, they have to do a lot of setup to, like, set up the world and stuff. Which, hey, you know, it's a cool world. A lot of... Ah! Didn't realize that guy was gonna go like that. Hey, here's a question. When's the last time y'all went to a bookstore? I saw a bookstore on the way to on the way to seeing John Wick. You know, my theater was in a mall. I'm going to a new theater now, since the old theater that I went to really sucks. They have like moths and like bad soundproofing between the theaters. So I decided to go to a different chain that happened to be in a mall that I have passed like countless times on like the highway. You know, because I've seen it from the highway, the theater in the mall. Anyway, late 2020 says highway. Yeah, for me, I think the last time I went to the bookstore was 2018. Late 2018. When I was in Japan, I went to a Japanese bookstore because I don't know, something about like, it was like, I think it was in Osaka actually. I think it was in Osaka where I went there, and I was just like walking through like one of those outdoor shopping centers that they have in Japan. They have in Japan a lot of like covered walkways that are sort of like alleys, but they're like covered with roofs. So it's sort of like an outdoor mall, but more like an indoor mall. It's like somewhere between an indoor mall and an outdoor mall that they have. I was walking through one of those and I saw like book and a sign that pointed to like a stairway. I was like, okay, I'll walk up. In Germany, I guess I'm not the only one who's gone to a bookstore while in a foreign country just to look around and see like, huh, this is what your bookstores are like. I guess also, you know, I'll say like I'm not counting manga stores. I did also go to a couple of those in Japan. And if we're counting those, I probably went to an Animate after I went to the bookstore. If we're just talking like actual bookstores from my country, from America, I really have no answer. Ages upon ages ago. Maybe, honestly, it's possible I might have like stopped in on one once, just randomly. You know, I definitely remember being in one of those like outlet malls. Fuck. And being able to just like walk through and like walking through like a Barnes and Noble or something to get to a parking lot. I might have done that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I went through the Barnes and Noble or around it, so I'm not gonna count it, honestly. We went to the Walmart book section as of like last August. If we're just talking like sections of stores, like, yeah, I probably just wandered through the Target's book section recently, but not like looked at a book. I did not look at a book while I was in that section. I was just sort of passing through because it was between the electronics and the, you know, between the electronics sections and the food sections, you know. Not that I buy physical video games either, but I don't know, sometimes it's nice to browse in the physical in like the physical video games section and be like, oh, look at an amiibo or something. Oh, I suppose also I have bought an amiibo or two from that, like, from like Target video game sections. And I pre-ordered a Switch from a Target once. This Switch, right, that I have right now, which was the Splatoon Switch. I pre-ordered that from Target. So, I guess that also comes from the Target. I want to come at this like this so that the guy doesn't spawn until I'm basically done what I need to do. I notice I have an increment of 9 coins when I'm going down. I hope that doesn't mean that I missed a coin somewhere along the line and I'm just one off. That would be unfortunate. Ooh. You bought this novel based off the horror game, Randy and the Ink Machine? Yeah, I don't buy that many physical books. Honestly, I don't buy many books at all. I'm not really that much of a book reader, except for... Honestly, I'm a creature of habit. I like to reread books that I've read before. You know, if you ask me, like, what book do you think you'll read next? I'd say, like, well, it's been, like, probably, like, 10 years since the last time I read Hitchhiker's Guide. I could see myself rereading that whole series. It's all very good and shit. And it would make a perfectly fine audiobook to go through. See, again, I'm at 49 before going into this next section. I'm a little worried about that. Kind of an odd number to end up at, you know? Remember that guy is gonna come around. Fuck me. I thought I was coming at that guy from a high enough angle to bop him. Oh my god. Let's go to last tries. There's like 5 seconds left on the clock, but last tries here. Here's another question. Y'all hang out at malls? Do people still hang out at malls? I was at a mall recently, and I was kind of like, you know, sort of thinking about that shit, right? Coming out of the theater being like, oh man, malls. I haven't been to a mall in like forever. And I looked around for a second, you know, thinking about the last time I went to like a weirdo mall that I'd never been to before, which was probably when I was going to like trying to go to like various Apple stores, trying to find an iPhone. I eventually did find one at a Best Buy, not a mall. People still hang out at malls, but not really you. I would only go if I have to. Yeah, I went to the theater and I was just like, you know, after the movie, I was like, well, I don't gotta go home right away, do I? I can hang out for a bit, you know, maybe. And I looked around and I realized, like, okay, well, the food court has a bunch of shitty chain food, which isn't as good as the chain food that I usually eat. You know, it's no Five Guys. It's no, you know, it's not like one of the Asian restaurants that I eat normally. It's nowhere, it's not on that level. And I just thought to myself, well, if I'm gonna have dinner, I'd rather have it at a restaurant that wasn't like in a food court, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. Why don't they have like proper restaurants at malls? Seems to me that that would be more appealing than just like, oh, you want to get like your chicken? They have restaurants at airports. I guess that's like the closest to the library was your hangout. You don't hang out that much. People in chat, no one says that they're a mall person, a mall rat, as they used to be called. Fuck. I left the coin there. I have to go get it. No one here, I believe, self-describes as a mall rat. Eee! I just sort of looked around and was like, yeah, bunch of stores. I don't really buy clothes in person that much, you know, clothes from a store. Most of my clothes comes from Amazon, or like, you know, comes from like Amazon, or like the Yeti or something, you know, something cool like that. I was really hoping he would like turn and not just fall on my head there. That's a... We can check that again. That's just a... Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, so yeah. Just looked around. You know, clothing stores, whatever. Tech stores, like, okay. I like a iPhone. I like an iPhone, so like one of those is cool. You know, an Apple store if they got them, but I don't think they do. There was a Dave & Buster's. Used to live really near Dave & Buster's, actually. Like, literally, like, I remember for, like, at my last apartment, right? There were, like, you could hear the construction of the Dave & Buster's from my apartment. It used to be very annoying in the mornings to wake up to the banging of Dave & Buster's being made. And then I went to it like once after it was done because my company was going to it, you know, the office. And it was quite funny, I thought, to just be able to show up there and be like, okay, I'm gonna go change my shirt, you know, from out of like a polo into something more casual before I go to the Dave & Buster's and play the Mario arcade game, you know, the Mario Kart arcade game. But like that, yeah, that's the one time I went there. I guess I didn't pay because it was a company thing. So, you know, that's cool. Okay, here we go. We gotta do this right this time. Not trigger that guy. Beautiful. That was my public library. They have... When you think of the library, you think it's all quiet, but you weren't in the teen section when you were in high school. That was your public library. There was a TV, and you could play a game in there, and a recording area. And this recording area in the teen area? What do you mean a recording area? Like, for what? Recording what? Fuck! I got eaten by a fish. Y'all saw it happen. Kind of a funny way to say that. What exactly is a teen area? What recording are we talking about here? Was it like a streaming area? Could you be like, hey, I'm here at the library. Fuck me! I'm here at the library, at my local library. You know, or do like a TikTok or something at the local library. I'm not sure, like, what era we're talking about here, Toad. If we're talking, like, 10 years ago, if we're talking, like, 20 years ago. You can record to make a video on a green screen. What era are we talking? Is this, like, 5 years ago? Is this, like, 10 years ago? Or is this, like, right now? We're on our last try, by the way. It was, just a couple years ago. Gotcha, that makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. Back in my day, people if they had like a recording device in like high school, it was a literal camera, an actual camera, you know, or maybe like a chocolate. You know, you probably don't know, Ratchet Toad. There were cell phones that were dumb phones that were called chocolates. They were like chocolate bar size. They sort of like slid out, sort of like a. Trying to think of a. What's a thing that has that form factor where it slides out? Like a Nokia, like the N-Gage, if you've heard of that infamous device, but it was popular. It's unlike the N-Gage. I think Highway didn't. Damn it! That came out of the pipe. Thank you for level, Highway. Highway, didn't you have one of those? One of those chocolate phones. I'm thinking it is like nearly 2 hours into the stream. I'm thinking the lightning round will be soon. I'm thinking after this level. Okay? After this next level, we'll do lightning round. I don't like to spring it on people, you know, without a little bit of wind up. Disoriental. Or wait, that's not how. Disorientia. There we go. The exclamation point looked like an L to me when I was reading it off the chat. From the chat bot, you know? I guess I could have read it off the screen. Off the preview monitor. That would have been easier. Let me do another card. Shout out to Airtime Thrills. That is a YouTube channel that I like to watch. That does a lot of coaster and, you know, other type, roller coaster type coverage. Top 10 lists, videos about top coasters of this type. Best this, best that, you know. I've become sort of a... That's one of the YouTube holes I've fallen into. Coaster YouTube. And I am, you know, approaching the point where I am, like, going to multiple theme parks and, you know, riding as many coasters as I can, and, watching YouTube channels like that are a big part of it. Also, shout out to Rixflix, which is a Universal Studios account that, my ma actually, put me onto. What are we doing here? Destroy these things? Ah, cool. That's a cool... Okay. Simple enough. Doesn't seem so hard. Except that you can get crushed! Oh, also, we're not in the lightning round yet, so we're doing 15 minutes. You can also get crushed in the demo room, but never mind that. Oh, I don't need to do the demo now. I can just play the level. Okay. Rixflix is a Universal streamer. You know, Universal Studios, Orlando streamer. You know, in preparation for, like, many of the trips that I've done to Universal, you know, me and my family, we like to, like, pull up his streams and watch some, and, like, his updates and stuff. All very useful information to have before you go to Universal Studios. Oh, you get a mushroom as you go through the door? Okay, we don't have to go out of our way then. Okay, we survived the first water going up and down. Fuck, we didn't survive the second. We're not in the lightning round, folks. Next, after this level, lightning round time. One more shout out to, again, jeez. Just go through the door. I didn't even think about the mushroom when I didn't go through the door. I just thought, stuff, I gotta do it. Also, shout out to Marcel Voss. He's a roller coaster tycoon YouTuber. If you've ever seen, like, If you ever seen like the Roller Coaster Tycoon YouTube videos, they're like, oh, can we beat this scenario in like 14 by 12 blocks or something? Can we beat the scenario with one ride? Or like, or like videos about like specific types of rides. Probably was him doing it. And really cool, really nice little videos. I enjoy watching those a lot. Forgetting about how I don't have to do that. Those are 2/3 YouTubers I like to watch. And, you know, that I've been watching a bunch of lately just for, you know, just for fun. Always looking for, like, video to watch when I'm bored, right? Video to watch when I'm bored. Or, like, when I need something in the background. And, channels like that provide a good, steady source of, like, yeah, you know, here's a 10-minute video, okay. I'll just watch several of those all at once. In a row, and that'll get me through, like, you know... That'll get me through. Ooh! I'm just not gonna say anything about what just... I think I was watching, like, a VOD of an earlier stream, and I realized, like, oh, this microphone, it does pick things up that the previous microphone didn't, huh? As far as, like, other noises that are in the room other than what I'm saying. That's fine, though. That's fine, though. Don't mind me. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's quiet. If you didn't hear anything, hey, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm dying a lot. Let's do another card. What fast food places have you never tried? I've never tried Arby's. That's the one I've never tried. Or at least one of the ones I've never tried. Just, you know, missed me by. I guess I always thought it was, like, similar to Applebee's or something. Because it has, like, a similar... It has a name with an A in it, also. But I learned recently they make, like, roast beef sandwiches. They attack in the middle, try not to hang out there too much. That's a good idea. But also, you can totally get, like... You can totally get fucked up at the sides as well. You have to pass over, don't you? That's the key. Pass over. Like, you know, as the thing is going side to side. Don't try to just hide out in the... So now we need to go over this way. Now we need to go over this way. Okay, I think I'm getting it. I'm figuring it out. That's the thing we were missing earlier. Just keep on moving. Don't get, like, locked down on one side or the other. Shit. Feel like we're most of the way done. Are all the blocks eventually gonna come up? Like those, yeah, okay, so those ones that are at the bottom, they're just there as part of their cycle. Shit, we gotta... Okay, good. This guy's still in rotation. Beautiful. Is that the end? Yes, it is. Nice level. Was challenging until... I say it is challenging, but I was able to do it once I figured out not to just hang out in the middle and hope for the best. That was the first clear as well. Very creative. What else cards do I have here? Do another one. More Mario making. Do planned revisions now. Okay, folks. I'm gonna hit complete on that one, and then we're going to do a little bit more making. Just want to run through a couple of revisions and see if I already have them built up. Oh, I see that a couple of folks already played Ne'er-Do Nebula. Lexomania is the first to beat it in 7 minutes. Lex really liked it. Very good. Lexomia plays my levels pretty quickly. Hey, it's time to do a little bit of making. I'm gonna hit next just so we see who's next, so that we know alter for Walter. When when I finish doing these revisions, we'll go to your level will be up, and will be the lightning round as well. And Ratchet Toad, you're just behind. You're just behind. I'm gonna switch to this type of thing again, and I'm just gonna run through in core spots what revisions I want to make. And we're not gonna like clear check them. We're just gonna make the revisions, save it with a good thumbnail, and move on. Okay? So I believe the levels that need revisions are let me see here. This one here, Fear Forge 2, Smokestack Attack, needs a revision. None of the World 4s. This World 4 is perfect. World 2 is perfect. World 1 is perfect. I think this one here, Sunshine Scramble, needs a small revision. Let me pull up my document. Let me pull up my document real fast. My document that for the Super World. Yeah, so there's a soft lock and smokestack attack. There's a soft lock and grave gauntlet. That was sort of a mistake. Add reset doors to bogus. Also remove the extra bullet build doors in bogus. Touch up the phantasm boss fight or checkpoint, and maybe add more Goombas sunshine. So yeah, this level, and also revisions here in this level, here in this level, and here in this level. Kind of an unlucky streak here. I think each of these three could benefit from some minor revisions. It's kind of a shame that there's so many from one world, but let's go starting from Fear Forge 2. And I'll just play the level. I'll just play the level normal style. And I'll tell you what needs revisioning. Ooh. So this is a sort of a two-part level. Well, obviously, all my levels are two-part levels. But the first part here is a on-foot level, and then it goes to a in-air level where you're like, you know, where you get into a thing, and then you fly around in the Koopa car. This, of course, is my industrial world, which is why you're running around on smokestacks. That's pretty cool. And that's the first half. Now, you might be wondering where the problem is with it. The problem is this. A little bit of a theming mistake here, where you can blow open the wall, and then, you can climb in, and, just wedge yourself here, and die. You're soft-locked here. Now, obviously, if you're, like, blasting holes in my level's walls, that's kind of a dick move. So don't do that, but also, you know, I think it would be good if we fixed that before the super world is finalized, honestly. So, let's see, how can we do this? I like the positioning of this smokestack, so I don't want to move it. I also like, you know, the place at which this ends up. That's ideal. I don't want to move that forward any. Those damn cheese sticks, yeah. I could add like a single a single one-way platform there, and that would lock off like that would lock it off, but you could still break the theming, and I don't really like that, honestly. Can we do it in such a way where you cannot break the theming? Oh, I got it. I got it. Watch this. Wait, that doesn't work. This pipe looks wrong. Shit, I thought I had it. I thought I had it there. There we go. That works. And just fix the theming here. And I can make that theming a little better, actually. That's... Wait. Move this over to here. And then just add one more thing, like right here. And there we go. Fixed! There's the first fix there. Just a very small change. Makes it so that you can't do nothing with this wall. It's impenetrable. Perfect. It's not like, you know, that works, right? It's not like you needed like this space over here. Yep, works. Good. Okay, that's the first of these fixes. Let me see, where's the thumbnail? The thumbnail is over here. So, let's see, I want it to be sort of a little bit... How many fish are on screen? This looks right. Matches the thumbnail, don't it? I think the thumbnail's like a touch higher. Oh, the thumbnail's a little bit to the left as well. But not so left that the other pipe is on screen. How about that? Okay, that one's ready to go. We're not gonna like give full tests of these. We're just gonna do a quick row revision. I think that should suffice for that one. That one is mostly just a plug up the hole and you know, fix the soft lock type thing. That is also basically the case with Unmoored 4. So let's go a little bit out of order. Let's do that one next, because this one's a simple one to fix. The issue here is quite minor and quite unintentional. Look here. Did you see it? Yeah, there's floor here. This one gemstone is not going all the way up. To fix it, all we have to do is not exactly that. What we need to do is this. And it's fixed. Okay, that's also an easy one. Where's the thumbnail? And that's the only revision in this level that needs to get done. Where the fuck is the thumbnail? Oh, that's like near the midway. Near the checkpoint. Right here. And the 30 coin is not on screen. The cliff on the side is... Let's see, this looks about right to me. How low does it go? Whoops. Don't need to do that. What a bitch. Okay. A little over. Like, yay. And low enough where you can see. How's that? That's pretty much exact. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's the second of the, how many levels do I want to do revisions on? Smokestack, Grave Gauntlet, Reset Doors and Bogus, Phantasm Checkpoint, and, Goombas and Sunshine. So 5. 2 of 5. This next one is also a somewhat minor one, but this one is more gameplay related, more meaningful. I'll just run through this one as is, because it's only a 20-second level, so it should be pretty quick to do. It's a little bit difficult, but not very difficult. I'll do it. So, this looks pretty good, right? You might wonder, like, what exactly I want to change. And I'll say it's very simple. I want to add more Goombas so it's more foolproof. I've seen in testing there are some cases where you'll fall through a hole in the Goombas. You know, a place where there are no Goombas to make up, like, they don't, like, form such a carpet, like a solid coating of him. So I figured just let's just get a little crazy with it. Let's just, like, drop a whole bunch of them so that it's basically impossible to not land on a Goomba. Get a little more wild with it. Okay, let's try that out. These two are fine over here. And I think this one is fun. You know what, I could make it a little more dense as well. Let's see if this works better. Oh yeah, that works much better. So yeah, at least this part worked better. I don't know about these guys. I think let's just go with like 5 for these. Because it seems like these guys were just getting a little bit silly with it. This one is not as required, but let's just... Slight increase there. This guy's not needed at all. These guys are the right already. Okay, I'm gonna test it one more time here. Yeah, that carpet's really solid and much more foolproof now. I think that's a big improvement. On that last part especially. Like, the part that I had issue with. And with the additional Goombas, it's a lot less, there's a lot less holes. Where's the thumbnail here? Near the start. Right around here, right? I think so. Yeah, that's right. Something like this, where you can see the checker marks. Wait. You can also see past the pipe on the right. So like, yay, but not so far that the guy is like poking his head in. So you see there the guy poking his head in, we don't want that. About there. A little bit more. Tiny bit more. Okay, good. 2 more left. I'm gonna go to the bathroom before going any further. I'll be back in a minute. Hey, I'm back. Ooh, sorry, that was a bit of a long break, wasn't it? Well, you don't want to hear about it, honestly. Let's just move on. We got 2 more levels left to do revisions on. It's a little hot in here, isn't it? I say as if you know. Trust me, it's a little bit hot. 2 more levels to do revisions on. Let's start with Unmoored 1. The changes here are slightly simpler. Basically, I'm not gonna go through the whole level, but basically this is a level in which you get Super Mario Brothers 2 Mario, and you go to this point, and there's a pipe here, and you go through it, and there's a checkpoint. But actually, you know what? To better explain what's up with this and what I think the issue is, I should just play through the level as is. So basically, whoops, that's never happened before. Not to me, anyway. Basically, this level, you get a bunch of Super Mario Brothers 2 mushrooms. There's also a number of shellments you can find to raise over your heads, and then you have to descend into these pits and hit a P switch to do a little survival game where you you know, avoid enemies while avoiding Phanto. Very Super Mario Brothers 2, right? That was sort of the idea of this level. So after you go through the first one, here's the checkpoint. And, you know, you get the second survival game, which is similar. This one has this little area that you can go into as a 10 coin. It's otherwise, you know, similar. There's now chain chomps. I believe this time there's 2 of these before the next checkpoint. But I did decide that there should be another checkpoint. So ended up doing one, you know? Here's the next one here. Yeah, there's, this time the chain chomps come from that direction. And you just go up. Thank you for the level highway. The queue is still open, by the way. You don't want to get them in for after these revisions. We'll absolutely do as many as we get. And here's the issue. So at this point in the level, you can go back here, and you get a checkpoint, right? Well, this is just a checkpoint. But because of how there's pits here, you might think oh, jump down there. And I'm thinking either 2 things, right? One would be just, oh, let's simplify this a bit. Just cover up the pits. No pits here. Just like a checkpoint and that's it. You know, and make clear that this room is just a checkpoint. And I put it here because the power-up is here. The power-up is here, and, you know, this is sort of like the last power-up before the last section of the level. So you come out of the checkpoint, you immediately are on to, the last sprint here. Whereas if it was, down this pipe, you know, you wouldn't have a chance to get a shellmet, you know, before doing this final bit. Also, I feel like it should be... the checkpoint should not be right before this final bit. I don't mind that, but I feel like it should be... I feel like these pits should still be dangerous, so what if they weren't just, what if they're still pits, but not fall and you die pits, just, what if instead they had, a chain chomp in them or something? How's that sound? What do you think? Is that cool? could also have red pipes that are... It could also have red pipes that are spawning, that's not as dangerous. It could have red pipes that were spawning, what would be more thematic? I suppose that's what we should ask. P-blocks. Have these be P-blocks rather than... It's still a pit, but there's P-blocks making a little bridge. So, you know, you could sort of imagine if the P-blocks were to ever go off, you would fall, but of course, they never will. Let's raise this up a scotch so that it looks like there's stuff under it. Yes, Ultra Walter thinks that the chain chomps look good. Let's raise this up a bit so we have more vertical room to work with. And then we can lower this guy down a bit. Earlier we used some one-ways, right? Yeah, there's been a couple of one-ways in the level, so what we can do here is we can expand this. And put this thing here. This way the guy has a bunch of space to, like, jump around in. Lower this one down one. A little bit asymmetrical. I think that looks cool. Does it look weird if there's like a hole in the wall like that? I suppose could just do it like this. And then this guy, you're sort of standing on here when you spawn. That seems a little bit weird. Then again, hey, you know, coming out of the pipe, will you automatically fall on the flag that way? Or do you have to, like, move a little bit to the side? Is that a cool thing that you have to move a little bit to the side? No, you don't. It's just automatic. Cool. It's kind of a cool thing that you have to move around it a little bit. Move that. Okay, a little bit asymmetrical is cool. Yeah, let's go with that. So we'll have this be a... We'll have it be a little bit asymmetrical in so far as, like... This guy will have one... Yeah, a little bit different of a path than the other guy, who will just be at a... Just be on a flat ground. If we raise this, will you always see that it's a pit underneath? Let's see if we can raise the camera high enough where that's, like, obvious. Oh, also, I'm just realizing as I move the camera up, I am totally screwing up the left-right thing that this level had going. It had a bunch of, like, things stuck in the walls to make sure that the auto-scroll didn't work. Or the auto-scroll didn't activate. You know, the scroll lock didn't activate, basically, except where it's supposed to. You know, basically so that this section is centered on the screen at all times. I suppose, though, there are parts of the screen here you'll never see. Like, you'll never see the bottom. So I could just do like that. I'll fill it in with brown. No, wait, that won't work. I'll fill it in with, I'll fill it in so you don't see it on the map screen, but... But yeah, I can easily just do that. And do an even amount on each side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Not sure if that's enough or if that's... Actually, it must be enough, right? But I'm not sure if it's too much. Right, is this a solid wall right here? Let's see. Might be. Okay, let's test it. Just very quickly test this out and see how it feels. Still, it's not immediately obvious. I guess these guys are always going to be a little off screen just with the height of the corridor, the height of the area. Just the height differential between here and there. You know? Well, at any rate, if they end up popping their head down there... What if it's like... I kind of noticed if you fall down on the... What if it's like way over the side here? No, I don't like that. I don't like the way that looks. Go back to how it was. I like that shape. But when you fall, the things are not like... That would make it more clear that there's nothing, that it's like a pit down there. Well, I suppose they're at the same height right now. That's kind of weird. Raise this guy up one. Is it cool to get out of here that way? How's that feel? I haven't screwed up, like, the timing. Guess I haven't, so, you know, it's still probably fine. Anyway, I think that's good. Let's find where the checkpoint is. I believe that's the first of the pipe areas. So let me just go and put it there. And oh, let's make sure, one more thing we should make sure. Yeah, okay, so there's no left and right movement allowed here. It's all one screen, so that's ideal. That's good. Make sure it's nice and centered when you're coming in. Yes, that's right, it's nice and centered. Look, that looks nice and centered to me. Does it look like to you? Yes, nice and centered. Okay, good. Camera is good. It's the second one. That's the thumbnail. And let's see now. For those who are wondering, maybe didn't see earlier, we're doing a round of revisions on my Super World levels since I just uploaded the last level of World 7. So I figured now is the best time to get these revisions in and make sure they're nice and good. Okay, pipes on both sides are on screen, and about right to me. Maybe a little lower. Not that much lower, just a little lower. Beautiful. Okay, that one's done. Let's go with that. The last one, I believe I have already done most of the revisions on, but I'll show you the original. Actually, do I have... It'd be easier if I could just, like, skip to the later parts of the original. Did I save the original? Or did I just overwrite it? I don't see the original here. Maybe I downloaded it. Whatever, I'll just... So, this last one needs the most extensive rework, unfortunately, for a simple reason of something that is a little bit unreliable. There's a cool thing at the end of the level, but it's a little bit unreliable and a little bit prone to glitch and error. And the ways that I thought that I was being clever were actually not so clever and can screw it up. So basically I need to replace a bunch of complicated things that I set up with just a plain old simple reset door. Just need to add some reset doors to the level, and it'll work beautifully well. It's a puzzle level where basically the idea is you gotta get a key, and then you figure out how to enter a door. And basically you got a bunch of these chambers where, you know, you'll see, like, oh, there's a key, but I have no way to reach it. You'll see, like, you know, a pointer, an arrow pointing you this way. And what you need to do here is take this forward, and there's the door we need to get into. Well, we don't have a way to get into it yet, so, well, one, we're lacking the key, and also, we need to do the thing. And also, hey, look at this, we ended up back in the original room. That's right, so this level sort of operates in loops, where you're sort of looping around, and, you know, bringing the items you need forward each time. A nice, good idea for a ghost house-ass level. Basically, my goal here was just to make a ghost house-ass ghost house level, and I think it turned out pretty cool. Here's the second rung of level. This one also isn't the problem. This one's also pretty good and solid, and I want to make no changes to it necessarily. Here the solution is you go up here, you hit this with a bomb to make a hole in the wall, then you pop through. And oh no, don't just pop through, there's a bullet bill. The bullet bill like carves some holes for you once the scroll lock is broken. You know. You get the shelmet here. You get the shelmet, the bullet bill hats, and you can use that to get a little further back at in an earlier room in the loop. You know, you can now go the low path here rather than the high path, and if you're paying attention, you realize where you can go right here. Now, this level is complicated and long and requires a lot of, like, you know, observation and maybe some trial and error. But, you know, I definitely feel like my super world wouldn't be complete if it didn't have a traditionally ghost house, or like my take on a ghost house, anyway. And this is that. And it has some cool moments and some cool twists, and we're about to see the cool twist. We're also about to see, unfortunately, the moment it needs revisioning. So here's what it looks like. Basically, oh, by the way, you might have noticed earlier that we dropped through the floor and got to a lower area. And here now, you finally go through the level using the propeller hat, following the thing upwards. You might ask, what's the problem here? This looks like it worked perfectly. Well, you see, I got a little clever, and I thought like, oh, if the player falls behind or the thing despawns, I'll put additional guys, like, hidden in the walls of the tunnel, so that, you know, so that, like, if, say, this guy dies, there's more where that comes from, and, you know, you'll just go forward and he will just, like, spawn if the hole is already made in the wall. But unfortunately, they can collide into each other and just end up not being able to, and you can end up, like, having to awkwardly go back to the start of the thing and reset. Basically, what we just need is some reset doors right here. And I believe I've already made that change. This is the one revision that I made a while ago. The rest of them were more just things I had written down to do later. This is the one revision where the decision was made, you know, way, way ahead of time, such that, you know, I actually have already done it. So you can see, originally there were guys, like, in the walls here, in these gray walls, just to make sure that there were more guys that would activate. Now, I've instead added a much simpler solution and a much more orthodox one, a reset door. You go through it, the guy respawns, and then you can follow him from there. It could not be more simpler. And then there's this final area, which is sort of inspired by the end. This area is sort of inspired a little bit by the end of Squeals on Wheels. In fact, this whole level could be construed as reverse Squeals on Wheels. You know, Squeals on Wheels, but you go up instead of down at the end. Which I thought was a fun idea to play with. I've seen, you know, other makers do like a Squeals on Wheels. You know, do like a downwards progression where you get a big Mario and then you sort of break your way through previous parts of the level. But I decided it would be fun to do the reverse, going up through the level that you previously were in. Now, I will say we do have one option here that, we do have one option here, which is, currently I have it here, but would this be a red herring that you would want to mess with if it was here? Maybe it should be like here instead? No, this is the best place for it, isn't it? And if they were like off the ground, you can, if they were like right here for say, you could use a POW block to get into them. You could use a POW block on those springs and get into them that way. And the POW block also could be used to get into those doors, and it would waste your POW block. So, yeah, I think it's just best to have them be on the floor, so you can just use them and go like, oh, they're like some sort of reset block, reset doors, and you know, hopefully ignore them. Hopefully ignore them. No. Or maybe you could think like, oh, these are for like if I let these boos get too close. You can, you know, use the reset door to reset all the boos to where they started. I guess there's like a valid headcanon you can use to like excuse for why these would be here. The only thing I need to ask myself is like, should they be here or like here? This is like more in the middle. I kind of like that more. But also, I do want people to put springs like here and here. So this is sort of more, this almost, I feel like this door placement almost suggests that, yes, you should do spring stuff here. Whereas this door placement makes it a little more unintuitive. I'm gonna trust my initial design. As for the save, I have to check what it is in Course World since this has been saved before. You know, what the thumbnail is, make sure that I was using the same one as I did previously. I went too far. Yeah, okay, it's that room. And honestly, I didn't make any changes. I didn't make any changes this time since they were already made. So why don't we just like leave it as is? We don't even have to save. Okay, there are all the 5 revised levels locked in. Small ascetic soft lock fix on Fear Fords 2 Smokestack Attack. That is 3-2. A bunch of extra Goombas added to Coastal Cup 5, that is to say 5-5, Sunshine Scramble, making that a little bit more consistent. This checkpoint in Phantasm Chasm, Unmoored Mines 1, that is 6-1, has been made a little more intuitive insofar as like, oh, it's a dead end, don't jump down the pit or anything. Unmoored Mines 2, no change there. That's the one unmoored. That's one of the 2 Unmoored Mines ones that had no change. Unmoored Mines 3 took up some of the ideas that were too smart by half, and just put in a simple, plain old reset door. No bones about it. Just a better idea to have in a level. And finally, one semi-solid caused a minor was too short, and that caused a soft lock. Not a soft lock, but a place you could get stuck. This really wasn't a soft lock, really. Just a place that you could get stuck if you weren't careful, and you didn't move in time, you know, with the level. Those are the 5 revised levels. I'll be deleting them and re-uploading them, shortly, you know, after the stream. Probably, like, tonight sometime. I'd appreciate if y'all were to play them. You know, the maker code's down there. If you're watching this, if you're like watching a VOD or something later on, then pop in that maker code. They should all be there. And, you know, follow me in game if you like. And maybe when the levels go up, the revised levels go up, you can play them and give likes. They are, in fact, you know, losing a lot of likes. Let's just go through real fast and look how many likes they are each losing out on. And just go, ooh, you know. Starting from the most recent, Grave Gauntlet, 30 likes. Not that big a deal. 29 on Bogus Boudoir. These are the longest levels of the Super World, and this one's an auto-scroller, so I can understand why, you know, these ones are a little low in the ratings, but I think they're very cool, and they certainly have a place in the Super World. So, not that many we're losing on there. 54 there, 81 on that one. That's a little bit, you know, smarts or whatever. And on Smokestack Attack, we're losing out on 103. Well, I'm sure once the Super World's completed, you know, with a complete Super World, we'll get those likes back soon enough. And in fact, every level will get lots of likes, I'm sure. And, you know, if you want to give some of these uploaded levels, these revised levels to other streamers, and have them play them, like someone earlier was saying that they would do, I would love that. I would love that. Again, that'll be later tonight. Alright, let's get back to the viewer levels, folks. Like I said, Alter for Walter was the next one up. That's right, we are on Alter's level, and like I said, regardless of if you're here, we're doing the thing. We're doing it right now, and that's all there is to it, you know? You're getting the full time of day, but, oh yeah, that reminds me, we are now in the lightning round. It's the lightning round, time near the end of the stream. During this part of the stream, I only have 5 tries to beat each level that comes at us. 5 tries refreshing at checkpoints, 7 for subs, and also for the first level of the night, that would be Alter for Walter. The bonus, the 2 extra tries that you get as a sub or as the first one, they come in a variety of different heads, and I will randomly do one. It works by a slideshow, basically, that I can stop and start. And I hide it so I don't see what it's on. So when I hit the button, it's all random. And you got Bowser. That's a good set of them. I like those ones. Those Bowsers are good. P, J, F. Let's do another card. Been playing in Marvel Snap. Just got Teenage Warhead. Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And I also made it to Vibranium. Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of Marvel Snap. Got into a higher rank than I got last season. I'm feeling pretty good about that. I don't know if I'm gonna get like to the next tier of like the the rank, the climb. I'm not gonna get to infinite. I never have, but I might be able to get it out of this current tier that I'm in. We'll see. I'm having fun. Teenage Warhead, she is a card that's like a 3-cost card that destroys any other card that's played on the same location as her, which is really sick and works amazingly in my destroy deck. Destroy everything, which basically that's a way to set up my Nimrod such that yes, it's a mobile game. That's right, Ratchet Toad. It's a way to set up my Nimrod, which is a card that if you destroy it, if it gets destroyed, it copies itself to the 2 other lanes. So basically I play Negasonic on 3, and then maybe I play Shuri on 4, which doubles the next card's power, and then I play a 10 power Nimrod that becomes 2 10 power Nimrods without even using my turn 6 combination, which is usually just like 2 destroy cards to destroy Nimrod twice and make a whole fucking buttload of them. Yeah, if you don't know what Marvel Snap is, it's a mobile game. It's made by the guy what made Hearthstone, Ben Brode. It's in his like indie team. Basically, Ben Brode apparently he left Blizzard like 5 years ago, and he started making a new game, which is Marvel Snap. It's basically it's a card battler where you take your turns at the same time as the enemies. You and your enemy, you take turns at the same time, and you're just placing various cards into one of 3 lanes, and you're trying to win, 2 of them. And each of the lanes has like wacky, randomized, each of the lanes is like a different location that has like randomized effects and like behavior. For instance, there might be a location. One of the recent locations they added was if you play a 3 or a 4 cost anywhere else, it gets moved over to this location. So there's a lot of cool cards that you can use to like really take advantage of that, or to like play around it in interesting ways. And basically, it makes every game. Fuck. This is interesting, by the way. I like what you've done. It makes everything like random in a fun way, and it almost feels like you're playing both against the locations that you get and also the opponents. You're sort of doing both things at once. Yeah, would highly recommend it. I'll say it's not entirely there yet, I think. Fuck. But it's made by the guy who made Hearthstone, or was like the lead guy on Hearthstone, who is now, an indie developer, but who got the hey Bingo, what's up? Been a while. Who got they got like the Marvel license, but don't let that fool you. They are an indie developer that is, with like AAA experience, obviously, because, the guy what did it also did Hearthstone back in the day. I say back in the day, 10 years ago, I mean. Whoop, that was wrong. Checkpoint was right there! By the way, again... Wait, that's not right. This one. There we go. I like to pop them in the right order. Those guys. I really enjoy that game. Do a lot of, like, thinking about that. Right now, I'm just pretty much playing that destroy deck I showed off. But, when things are less competitive, I guess, when I'm in, like, less hard waters. Doing good, making a few new stages in Minecraft and reworking a stage in Super Mario Maker 2 for tomorrow. Ooh, that's nice, Bingo. Well, I do this once a week. So, next week, come and give it to me, if you so please. Oh, we got a checkpoint. That refreshes our doodads. Our lives. Our doodads. And then we lost one immediately. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, that's not right. I forgot to die before the refresh. I died before the refresh. I did so plenty of times. What? Oh! I understand now. I've gotten it. I need to leave the... I thought it didn't go through. I need to leave the dry bones here in, like, the treadmill so that when we do this... Whoa! Gotcha, okay. Bingo knows what's going on here. Okay. Okay. We're on our last try. Well, it's probably too much to ask, but I would really like a checkpoint. Like, in the next room, maybe. That probably won't be the case. Almost definitely not. Maybe after this pipe, if we get a refresh of a... Good, okay. Checkpoints! Yo! Good shit. Yeah, that gets all our shit back. I like... This boss is cool, by the way. We have to, like, pop in and out of the lava. The goo. Ah! Well, I hope we don't need that shell. Okay. What was with the thing? There wasn't a hidden... Was there a hidden block there? I didn't have the shell, so I was afraid of actually hitting it and, like, landing in the shell. In the muck, you know? That was good shit. There was, okay. Okay. I'm happy I jumped around that then. Very happy I jumped around that. That was very good. Thank you for the level. I'm gonna go ahead and hit complete. That's not how you spell complete. If ever I got like a stream deck or something, which, you know... I mean, I guess, like, my birthday's coming up. I could easily justify to myself, like, yeah, I could buy myself a stream deck for my birthday. That would be good for my hobby. I could justify that internally. If I were ever to get a Steam Deck, maybe I would have a button that just made a chat message that was like, you know, complete, next, dismiss, all the things I need to do all the time to do the stuff. So that I don't fucking have to misspell it all the time. That would maybe be handy. Alright, Ratchet Toad is here. Is up. Is Ratchet Toad here? Ratchet Toad chatted in a minute? I think Ratchet Toad was chatting like a little bit ago. Ratchet Toad did some emotes not so long ago. But I will just do... Ratchet Toad says is here. Good. Okay, cool. Let me do another card while I'm pulling the thing in. Been rereading / re-listening to Dresden Files, the series about a wizard who is also a private eye who, you know, has to deduce who the monsters are, who the culprit is, and then, you know, fights them in a big knockout drag-out battle at the end of each book. I finished Peace Talks. I've started Battleground. Battleground is the last book. These two are sort of a weird pair of them because they sort of are like part one, part two, in that they used to be one book originally, but then they were sort of like, it got too long, and they ended up being 2 books instead. And I'll say, like, I barely remember them since they're the only ones of the series I've only reread once in the case of Peace Talks and 0 times in the case of Battleground. So, you know, as I'm going through these last of the books, I'm barely remembering a thing. And, you know, I think so far my criticisms of the first book, of the first of those two, are still the same, which is that it feels a little weird. It feels like the first half of a book. You know? It very much feels like, oh, we're just getting started, and then the book ends. You know? And it also feels like, oh, you know, the first and the second book, they are sort of part one, part two, but also the main conflict in part two is not what the part one is about. You know, part one is about some table setting, you know, some stuff that happens before war breaks out between someone else. Basically, the first book is like a big political powwow where all the supernatural powers come to town, and then some really bad stuff happens between two of them, and they sort of get into a dispute. And that's sort of what the first book is about. And then in the second book, a third power comes to town and you know, tries to destroy Chicago. It turns Chicago into a battleground, and it's sort of just a whole book of fighting, like nonstop for 12 hours. And I will say some cool stuff is happening in this book, and maybe I just like let it wash over me the first time, and it all just sort of became a slurry, but I'm enjoying it well enough the second time. I don't know. I'm looking forward to more books, and I'm hoping that, you know, more books in the series, future books in the series, are more traditionally, you know, more the formula. I'm also looking forward to, like, having podcast time again, because I'll tell you, I've been, like, really, like, mainlining these books for the last 2-3 weeks. So I haven't had time to do podcasts in, like, a month to listen to my podcast. Also, it is worth noting that before I did Dresden Files, I reread another book series by the same author, Codex Alira, right before. So it has really been a while since I, like, actually had time to go through my podcast. And I'll say, like, I've not listened to practically any podcasts in the last month and a half. Practically none. Like, just If Books Could Kill. And nothing else. Not even the other ones that I love. You know, like Yori Yori Boys, or Fire Escape, or Min-Max, or The Shrieking Shack. Those are all podcasts that I love, that I think are the best of their sorts. The best of their subject materials, and I just haven't found time for them. Oh wait, I gotta take down the bonus lives. Which one is it? C. Okay. That's the hotkey for that. If I had a Stream Deck, I wouldn't have to remember hotkeys so much. I could just look, and they would say what they did on them, like the button would. Do I have to, like, get these guys to, like, no, I can just run through them. Oh, this is your 100th level? I'm sorry I didn't see that, Ratchet Toad. What? I don't get this one. Wait a minute. This might be semi-automatic, actually. No. Well, I think this one I just, like... No, that's... Okay. If I just got through that on one try before, that was a total coincidence. That was a lucky fluke. Yeah, that was a lucky fluke. Gotta, like, back up and shit. Whoops. By the way, if you're wondering, as we always do in the lightning round, if we get a timeout... What? One-sided wall jumps. I don't know what that means. If we get a timeout, that counts for all of our tries, all 5 of them. It counts for as many tries as the timer is, you know. So if it's a 100-second timer, that would count as one of them. If it's a 200-second one, that would count just 2. If it was a 500-second one, that would be the whole kit and caboodle, you know? Just a way to keep the lightning round lightning-y. At one point, I did consider, like, adding the extra, like, the 10-minute timer that I showed earlier, that I used earlier. That's why that 10-minute timer is located where it is on in the scene in OBS. That's why it's over on the... It's set up so that I can use it at the same time as the lightning round UI stuff, HUD. But I think I kind of just like using these rules that are just, are less regimented. I don't know. I suppose it wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe we should institute that as just a rule. I don't know, I like during the lightning round not having to deal with a timer. When outside the lightning round, I always have to do a 15-minute timer. And sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget to start one, And it's much easier, therefore, when you get into the lightning round and all you have to remember is, yeah, manage my lives. And that's just something you have to look at when you die, I guess you do have to check that you're, like, maxed out at the start of the level. But that's not so hard. I don't know, I guess that's not so different from like, setting a timer. But I feel like I forget it less than setting a timer. How about another card? Did you see that the Kaguya film is going up on Crunchyroll? I talked about going to the Kaguya film earlier this season of anime. In fact, it is on my anime tier list for this season, despite being a movie, because I include anime movies that come out in theaters or otherwise come out in my tier list rankings for each season. And well, now it's actually coming out on actual TV and on actual Crunchyroll. So if you didn't go see it in theaters on Valentine's Day, it was in theaters on Valentine's Day, by the way, you can go see it on Crunchyroll now, or at least the first half. If you watch, like, the rest of the Kaguya series, that movie, which is being split up into parts, by the way, it's being split up into, like, episodes, TV-style length. If you've seen the show and you haven't seen the movie, go fucking check out the movie. It's fucking incredible. It's fucking so good. It's such a good movie. Though you do have to see the rest of the series to get up to that point. But, to not be spoiled. But, the show is fucking hilarious, and the show is the movie. I'll tell you the premise of Kaguya. So it's called Kaguya-sama Love is War, and basically the premise is that there's these two really, really proud kids, these, high schoolers, who are like the student body presidents and the vice president, and they are secretly in love. And the problem is, both of them are way too fucking proud to admit it to each other. Holy shit, we did it! Well, I'm just gonna do a reset here. It's very convenient that these things are here. I'm not gonna count that towards the lives, because that was intentional and just to re-up our timer, So basically, these kids, they're really proud and they're too stubborn to just tell each other they love each other. So instead, they try to force each other to force each other to confess to each other by playing, like, the most elaborate, like, battles of will that you've ever seen in an anime this side of, like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's practically like a shonen version of, like, It's practically like the shonen... It's very similar to, like, a shonen, right? Insofar as, like, oh, are the red coins optional here? Looks like they might be optional to me. Since if you didn't get them before the checkpoint, you couldn't get them now. I'm gonna proceed on the assumption that they're optional. So basically, the whole show is just a bunch of like fun little skits where they try to like one up each other, try to like force each other into like confessing to each other. You know, one great example of that from the show is there's like a episode. It's raining, right? And each of them independently at the same time says to each other like, I forgot my umbrella, which they realize like, oh fuck, they realize instantly like, oh god, I screwed up. We both said that we didn't have our umbrellas, so one of us is gonna have to admit that we're actually lying and we do have our umbrellas so that we can, you know, share an umbrella like we really want to. And, like, one of them makes the argument like, oh, well, you know, you didn't have your umbrella? Well, don't you check the weather, like, every day? And he's like, he starts sweating, and then she's like, you know, and then she's like, it's been a while since I've seen this particular episode, so I might not remember all the details perfectly good. But she's like, well, you know, I didn't bring an umbrella because I don't usually bring an umbrella because I usually have a car that's like chauffeuring me from my home to, you know, to school. She's like a rich girl. And then there's like some flashbacks where she's like, well, you see, my friend, this is preparation. I was prepared for this. Last night I punctured my chauffeur's car. You know, I punctured the tire so that they wouldn't be able to pick me up from school. So that I could, you know, be here with the, you know, and be in need of sharing an umbrella. And they just go back and forth like that. Each of them like trying to figure out like why each one of them is you know, try to make each other like admit that they've done it, and that's just one of many very funny, very well put together little bits where they draw a lot of humor out of the basic premise. The movie is called Kaguya-sama Love is War, The First Kiss That Never Ends, and well, I can't tell you the premise of the movie because it's a spoiler for the show. But it is like some of the best stuff in the show so far. Some amazing fucking moments, some amazing fucking shit. I'll tell you, when I saw it in the theater, I have never heard a theater be more uproariously, like, laughing. You know, everyone was just, like, laughing all the fucking time. Just tons of jokes fucking landing left and right. It was fucking one of the funniest fucking things I've seen, and just, I might go so far as to say better than Season 3, which was my runner-up anime of the year last year, behind Bocchi the Rock. So, that comes with my highest recommendation, Kaguya-sama Love is War. Season 2 was my anime of the year, like, a couple of years ago when that came out, actually. So, you know, it's been, like, right up there in that upper echelon, and God, I tell you, this movie could be anime of the year so far. But, you know, the year is young. There's plenty of anime that are coming out. Check it out. I'll also say, regarding anime, looking forward to the next season of anime, Spring. That is starting, like, this Saturday. This Saturday, like, the first couple new shows are coming out, as well as the first couple of old shows, you know, shows that have, been, you know, seasons 2, seasons 3, etc. I was almost at the end earlier. Dang it. Really. Looking forward to getting in there, finding out, like, what shows are good. And, you know, I'll probably end up following a lot of them. I tend to follow a lot of simulcasts. And, I like just to have, like, let's say, a show or two to watch every night that's brand new. I like that rhythm of it, you know, that new release rhythm of just like, okay, it's Monday, you know. Well, right now, the stream's on Monday. start at 6 p.m., so I don't really have time to watch that much anime before the streams, but, you know, it's Monday, it's after a stream. You know, I have 2 new shows to watch. Let's do it. You know, it's a Tuesday. There's 3 shows that are out today. Okay, let's go ahead and watch them. Friday rolls around. God damn, you know, there's gonna be a lot of Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows, so, you know, it's a good thing that that's the weekend. You have all the time in the world to watch it. Really enjoyed that rhythm, and I really enjoyed this part of a season, you know, the first part, where you're, like, watching a bunch of shit, you don't know what's gonna stick, and, you don't know what's gonna stick, and it's all just watching, like, an episode or so of each show and going like, oh, this one sucks. I don't want to watch this one. This one's immediately out. Oh, this one's awful, like, right out the gate. You know, and some of them you're like, okay, this one's okay. Oh, it's pretty good. Okay, I think I like it. And some you're like, holy fuck, this rules. What the fuck? Oh my god. And I like to go in surprised. I like to go in and be surprised by simulcast anime. You know, I like to go in not knowing as much as I can, so that when I find, like, a Bocchi the Rock, I'm immediately like, yo, what the fuck? Bocchi the Rock is so fucking good. You know, I'll be like that. And that's my ideal as far as anime goes. I hope to discover some gems, just unexpected gems, and I hope to just, you know, I hope that everything else is, like, bad in such a way that I can immediately dismiss it. You know, if it's gonna be bad, I at the very least want it to be easy bad, you know? I want to, like, watch 10 seconds of it and go like, oh, this isn't gonna be it. This ain't it. Nope, nope. Out. Cut. Gone. Thank you. If it's gonna be bad, it's easier if it's an obvious bad. If it's like a really modest bad, it can be hard to figure out, like, do I like it? Is it bad? It's okay. Is it gonna make the cut? You know. But, you know, that's the fun of it, you know? That's the fun of new season of anime. I know there's some people who like to just wait and see, you know, what people are talking up, but that couldn't be me. I like to find out for myself. I like to find out before anyone tells me what's really good. I don't really look too closely at shows, you know, until they come out. Thank you for the level, Jadon Ninja? Yeah, Jado Ninja. How you doing? I think we're just about out of cards. I think the Kaguya one and the anime one were some of the last. Oh, and also, look at that, we did it. Very nice. Thank you for the level. And also, I'll say I will, you know, I like during this new anime season, at least recently, I like to make a card for each one of the, you know, like I do with the cards. I like to make a card for each anime that I see that's new and talk through what I thought. You know, and I'll tell y'all, you know, as many. Yeah, I liked it. It was not that hard. I liked how the checkpoint was well placed, and I liked how the second part actually had enemies in it. That was a nice little escalation. I like to be able to die in a level. I think that makes it more fun, and also means that you're not dying by timeout, which I think is one of the more frustrating and weird ways to die. You know, when you're like 500 seconds into a level, and it's just like, okay, I might as well just wait until I die. That always feels weird, you know? I see some people have liked some stages. Let's look at the notifications. Again, I just uploaded Ne'er-Do Nebula. Check it out. I could see that 2 people have dropped likes on it. Check it out. Let me know how you feel about it. Clear rate is pretty low right now, actually, but it does have 2 checkpoints, so maybe that makes sense. I'll probably watch some streamers play it at some point and see how they do. See what needs to be, like, brought down. Maybe, like, a mid-fight mushroom during the first phase would be a fairly good addition to the level. I don't know. I'll think about it. That'd be a fairly safe addition, you know? Maybe that will go up over time. Maybe people will do it, but do it better. Was that was Ratchet Toad's level, so I have to hit complete now, yes. We've been going for about 3 hours. I think it's time to start wrapping up. So to that end, I will say, when should we close the queue? When should we do it? After this next level. You know what? Let's just do it. It's 3 hours in. Perfectly good time to close the queue. Tell you what, I will give what I usually do. A little bit of last call, last warning. And in fact, we'll specifically, I'll play through the levels that are, that I did revisions on. I'll play through them all. Is that fair? Let's just play through. I won't do a clear check yet. I'll just do a regular. So these levels I did some revisions on earlier in the stream, and I'll play through them. There you are, Highway. Yeah, and this is last call for levels. Last call. After I finish after I play through these in their entirety, which is, you know, post revisions, by the way. And I'll try to be fast about it too, by the way, so, you know, don't get too sad about it. Oh, you know what? We'll exclude, you know what? Actually, fuck it. I was thinking that maybe we should exclude the, you know, the hardest one among them because it is such a go-fuck. It's a long level. It's not really a go-fuck. That's unfair. Also, you know what? Multiple levels are kind of long in these revision ones. How about we just do one more of these, actually? We'll do this one to be the revision, and we'll also play through, the new level as well, one more time. That was, the flying level, smokestack attack, now with the new, you know, soft lock fix in place. There were also, you know, revisions done on this very short level here. Coastal Cup 5, Sunshine Scramble. Also on, Unmoored 1, Unmoored 3, and Unmoored 4. You know what? I'll do Unmoored 4. That one we went really quick by because the change was just like one tile and needed no testing. Again, last call. Thank you for the follow, Ahoy Fungus. So this is a auto-scroller level, inspired by, and by the way, we'll do this lightning round style, so if I die a couple times, it'll count down. It was sort of inspired by, like, minecart levels. I wanted to make a auto-scroller that was fast-paced, where, you know, you didn't really feel like you were waiting for nothing. You're just sort of, like, going through the jumps as fast as, like, it makes sense to, basically. It almost feels like the auto-scrolling is pulling you forward. Also, it's an upside-down level in the second half, which I thought was a great twist for the second half. And it makes what is, you know, can be pretty simple gameplay into something more of a tough challenge, you know? Also, it moves at full speed in this part, and it requires you to do some leaf up face here. You know, jumping across these pits. I thought it was kind of funny and messed up to make the player do this in a funny way. You dig it, you dig it. Hell yeah. And then I have just one more messed up thing for me to force you to do in this level. Platform off screen. I thought it was really funny to make the player go above screen where they couldn't see themselves, wall upside down. Kind of an evil little thing that I thought was really funny. So like I said, the revision here was just a small aesthetic thing that also was a place you could get stuck because a semi-solid was not as tall as I thought it was. I realized too late that it was actually so short you could actually land on it and get stuck in the scenery.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
Finally, I'll do one more. Not one of the ones that I revised, but I'll do the last level that I just uploaded, which by the way, you can play now. You know, punch in the maker code down there, look for the latest level. I might delete re-upload it at some point in the future. You know, it might need some revisions to make it maybe a little bit more doable for anyone who isn't me. You can see there the clear rate is currently 4%. Not sure if that's what I was going for. Maybe more like 5% or maybe more like 6%. I don't know. It does have more checkpoints than my normal level. So let's show what this level is. It is a level set in a nebula. So this is a nebula. So of course a nebula is has swirling clouds and also some ships in it. Makes sense, don't it? And also some storms, you know, some water. I have one more sick level to show, and it's this one. Ahoy. And by the way, Ahoy, we are in last call for viewer levels. You want to get a level in right now. Now is the time to add it. When I finish this last level of mine, I will be closing the queue. When I finish showing this level up, I will be closing the queue. Okay? Okay. I still need to make one. I gotcha. One day, cool. Oh, and by the way, cool thing about this level, just for like reference. So when you go in here, it becomes a boss fight level, and it's sort of inspired by like Baron K. Rulenstein, where you're going down level by level, and you're sort of like having to go over him and do a thing over here, and then go back and forth. And each level has like slightly different, you know, slightly different setup that you can work through. I think it's fun. I think it's damn fun. His randomness is sometimes a threat, but you know, I tried to make it so that you know, wherever he is, you have some sort of recourse for what you can do. You know, some sort of path to get around him, to get over him, to get below him if possible. And this last one, you're on a timer, so you have to get back to the thing. You can see here there's a hole for us to go for. That hole wasn't always there. You made this? Yeah, I made this. I make lots of great levels. Y'all should check out all my lovely levels. Check out my maker code. Lots of amazing shit. So yeah, this is the Bowser battle at the end. You got all these red shells you have to go back and forth, and every time you go back and forth, one set of Koopas spawn. And because, you know, once you fall down into the Koopa area, there's a shellmet for us to get, an extra shellmet down there. Because once you go into the Koopa area, the pipe that spawns them is blocked off, you can only get one per cycle. One set of them per cycle. Which, you know, requires you then to keep on engaging with the Bowser, going above him, going under him if possible. You know, if he's like up on the... That should do it. If he's like up on the thing, like right up here, you can go under him, which is pretty cool whenever possible. Then there's one final escape sequence where it turns out under the arena you were in, you know, there was just lava under you, right? Well, it turns out there's an escape area below you the whole time. I thought that was a fun way to hide the exit of that arena. I hope that people aren't dying in it. That would be a bummer. Let's just look at the We have like some results from the first 5 people who played it. Let me see. Are people dying in the escape area? Maybe they're not getting to the escape area. Maybe that's the problem. Let me see. No one has died so far in the escape area. That's probably good. I want the escape area to just be a fun thing. I want you to realize, like, oh fuck, lava's coming. Let's get the fuck out. Go through the pipe. And you can just pop out if you fail, you know? Alright, that was Jet. Check out the level. Again, this is brand new. We uploaded it just now during the stream. We uploaded it, clear checked it earlier in the stream, so yeah. And like I said before, I also did a bunch of revisions on 5 levels, including some that you just saw before these, and those will also be uploaded sometime this weekend. I'll probably clear check them after the stream and get them uploaded. Delete the original ones, which, you know, I'll be losing another number of hearts. The most being Smokestack Attack, which had accumulated 103 since it came out year and change ago, last December of 2021. One of the first levels I made on stream. When I made Mecha Maelstrom, I was not a streamer. Fear Forge was the first one to be made, like, while I was streaming. Partially. I started it before I was a streamer, but then, you know, I became a streamer, and then it was completed while I was a streamer. Back then, the original idea was to put the making first, and the viewer level second. And then I realized, like, oh, do it the other way. That's way better. Honestly, there's not enough making material for me to, like, do entire streams of it all that often, you know? I don't know. Anyway, that was me buying some time doing last calls. Let's go ahead and close the queue. Thank you for getting your levels in. They've been very nice. We have 3 left in the queue plus highways. Let's go ahead and change the queue is closed thing on the HUD. Highway is here. No problem, man. Whenever I stall like that and, like, buy time for to get in a level. Fuck, I should have changed this to the minimal queue for that, actually. You know, this thing. Which, by the way, I also made that stuff down there. Everything on screen, I put together. All except for the game itself. I put together the now playing thing. I put together the lightning round stuff and the Mario heads. Put together all that stuff. It's been fun learning how to use OBS over the last year and a half. And, like, getting all these complex setups working. I'm now trying to think of, like, how I want to do my Pikmin streams that'll be starting next week. I'm doing some Pikmin streams starting next week. And I want to have it so that I can... Well, the premise will be, for those who don't know, the premise will be, like, Pikmin 1, 2, and 3, and I switch games every 3 days. So I want to have, like, an on-screen indicator that says, like, you know... Oh, is this like a one where you've remade... You've made the illusion of the level being the... Fuck. Same in both places. That's slick. That's really slick, Highway. I like it. So yeah, for that stream, I want to have some sort of heads-up display that tells you, like, oh, you know... We're 3 days in. This is the 3rd day. We'll be back to... You know, we're on Pikmin 2. Here's the setup of what we're doing so that people know what we're doing just by looking at the... Just by looking at, you know... Just by looking at the screen, you know? Just looking at the stream. There are piranha plants there. Yeah, this... I like what you've done with the illusion. I've also, on occasion... By the way, do we need all the red coins? Probably, right? Yes, I think the answer is going to be yes. I like making illusions like this, where it looks like, you know, it looks like it's one contiguous space, but it's really not. Or otherwise, like, trying to fool the player into thinking that areas that they're seeing now are the same areas they were seeing before, in order to make levels that feel like they are shapes that are fucking me! Only I can do next. Jado Ninja. But this is the lightning round. I only have 5 tries to do each level, refreshing at checkpoints, so you won't have to wait too long for your turn to come out. Now, don't you worry. Well, besides the part where I revamped and, you know, bought time for... I'm joking. This is not a hard jump. I just need to relax and take it slowly. I also, like I said at the top, I'll say this again, I have a big stream this weekend that I'm doing. I've been playing through Persona 5 Royale, and I'm at the end. You know, on... Wait. Earlier... Wait, no, we can't get that down there from here. Doing Persona 5 Royale. I'm at the end, basically as close to the end as we can get. And basically what I'm going to do is on Sunday, I'm going to start playing around like 2 p.m. Central. And I'm not going to stop until I finish the game. And you know, we're already like 150 hours in. So, I'll tell you, we're probably like 8-10 hours away from the end at most. At most. Maybe more like a regular stream's length, honestly. But I'm gonna do it this Sunday. Finishing it. Persona 5 Royale. And then, you know, all this time that I have spent, you know, my Mondays and Thursday stream slots. Fuck! All that will be opened. And we'll be able to do some stuff. That seems really cool. I'd really like to finish it. But alas, that is the lightning round highway. I would love it. You know, I say this often, highway. But, you know, do resubmit these some other time. Yeah, another time. Like next week or something. That would be lovely. I definitely want to finish that one. It seems really nice and not that complicated. Bingo Bo. Bingo, where are you at? Let me go ahead and @ Bingo. The chatbot thinks he's not there, but I'm just gonna @ him and tell him he is up. Bingo Bo, longtime viewer. You know, I remember when I was doing, when like I was just like a month into streaming. Bingo was already here. And I remember like when I was doing like, Super Paper Mario back, in my second month of streaming. And I remembered like Bingo Bo, there were times where it was just me and Bingo Bo just hanging out, playing Super Paper Mario or whatever, and him just hanging out. This level is straightforward and came to me in a dream. It's all interconnected. Yes. It's a very odd waking up at 4 a.m. with the level name even. What was it? Jeez, I don't think I even like processed what it was called. I should be more cognizant of that more often. Astral Piranha Plant Dimension. This one was getting over it. Coins, optional. Don't lose your shell. We did H. Hidden Oasis, The Mountain. Grassland 1-1, New Beginnings. Celesta's Camball Adventure. The Master Desert Switch level. Board Max, and I think that was the last one that we did. That was the first one we did this stream. That's a weird thing to do. I don't usually do that. Just pull up the levels that we did in the stream. Bingo, if you're not here, you know how we do it. We do the sudden death. Suppose it has been a bit since you know, you put in the level. Sorry about that. Here's the last card. It's about the planned Pikmin streams. Yeah, like I said, you know, I don't have much more to say about it. I'm working on the UI that I'm going to like put in the heads-up display. Since it's, you know, the first 2 games are GameCube games, and I have the GameCube copies of them, you know, I'll be like, I'll have all this room to work with on the edges where I can put like a heads-up display and the thing that explains how we're doing it, and show like the game name and all the setup and stuff, what day we're on, etc. But for Pikmin 3, it's obviously on the Switch, so it's already, you know, full screen. So if I want to do like a heads-up display, I have to take up some space. So I think for that one, maybe for that game, the UI will be smaller, so it's a little bit more out of the way. but it will still, I think, be there so that anyone at any time will know what the deal is and what exactly we're doing during this upcoming Pikmin thing. What are we doing here, Bingo? Should I? Okay, well, there's totally levels that I haven't played before. We never did challenge mode. Yeah, I think this is what we're doing. We're doing challenge mode. The next challenge mode that we haven't done before, I think, right? Challenge mode 15. And again, I'll say this, by the way. During the lightning round, if you're in sudden death, just say the word and I'll upgrade you to regular lightning round. And if you've lost like 1 life there, you'll have like 4 lives after the lightning round. We switch to it, and if you're out of lives, you'll have 3. Just say the word before it's too late, and I'll switch you over. Looking forward to that. You know, I've enjoyed having like a solid. Doesn't seem so bad. I've enjoyed having like a schedule, you know, like a thing to do twice a week. You know, I enjoyed like also, you know, for a good portion of that Royale streaming, I took a little bit of a break, like a couple weeks break from Mario Maker. And I enjoyed just, you know, oh, this is bad. I enjoyed just stepping away for a minute, you know, stepping away from the Mario and just doing something else fun for a while. But also, you know, it's a 150-hour game, and just even with long streams twice a week, it does take like 4 months to get through. At least it did for me. Maybe if I was doing like longer streams every day, then it would be like maybe more like a month or 2. I'll tell you, I think I replayed the game. You don't have any levels, but I hear to see some Mario moves. Hell yeah! Hello, Rotten Fox. How you doing? I remember like when I did like Persona 5 the original, right? I played I haven't played Persona 5 Royale before, but I played the original game. So, you know, all this stuff now in the 3rd semester, which is where we are in Royale now, is all new to me. But, you know, the first time I played it, it was probably over the course of like a month or so. But who remembers? But I do remember when I replayed it. I replayed it in like December that same year that it came out. I did the New Game Plus, and I did it all within December. But I guess also I had time off, so, you know, that was just me playing the game and just, you know, just playing the game constantly until it was done. All 100 and something hours, you know. This one wasn't hard. This one was very doable. Thank you, Bingo, for the level. Nice work. Some of these challenge levels that Bingo has are pretty fucking hard, so I was a little worried that sudden death might not be good enough, but it was just fine. It was just fine. Yeah, it's a good concept. He does a lot of stuff with Shell, with the Dry Bone Shell in this challenge mode series. Works with it a lot. Personally, I like doing different ideas with each level, you know, playing with like different things, different mechanics, mixing it up as much as possible. But, you know, hey, I'll say like it is cool, on the other hand, to have a stomping ground and just, you know, make a million different cool things out of the same couple of parts. That's also, you know, impressive of itself, right? Alterver Walter is up next. Does not appear to be in chat. Let me, Alterville Walter, you are up. Alterver Walter was watching for a while. Maybe still around. But I'm gonna pull up the sudden death. In any case, I'm gonna punch in the thing. So yeah, you know, that's gonna be a big Sunday stream. I'm gonna go as long as I have to, starting at 2 p.m. You know, so if it takes 10 hours, that takes us to midnight. If it takes 12 hours, that takes us to 2 a.m. I hope it doesn't take more than 12 hours. what we have left in the game is basically like 10 days of gameplay. You know, just 10 days of hanging out. We have 2 targets and mementos to get to. We can do that in like an hour or less even, if we really like book it. And yeah, it's a 150-hour game is the thing. It's a 140-hour game. It is a long game. And we don't have that much left. We just have 8 days of in-game time left. We have 2 targets to do mementos. That shouldn't take much time. And we have the final boss, which that's the X factor. I don't know how long the final boss is going to take. I don't know how hard the final boss is. It might be that we end up having to like knock heads into the final boss like a bunch of times before we can do it. You know? It might be really fucking hard. But I'm feeling confident. I think that with what we have right now, it should work. This code isn't working. Alter for Walter. 8 p.m. G3J CPF. It's not working, but I do have. Let me just go and see if I can find Alter for Walters. Does anyone remember which levels, like courses, which levels was Walters? Maybe it'll be obvious. Maybe his name in game will be for Walter or something. Oh, it was a C instead of a G. Okay, that's... Don't know how I messed that up. Which one? Wait, I thought I... Are you sure? I'll try that, but... C, P, F. There we go. Okay, we got it. Okay. That was a typo. I did fuck it up, I guess. Happens, you know. Still don't see Walter for Walter, so we're gonna go into this in sudden death. Very good. Let's give it our 2 tries and do it in 2. That's how we do it, by the way, if anyone's new. During the lightning round, I only have 5 tries to beat each level, refreshing at checkpoints. But if you're not here, I do it in sudden death instead. I do it so that I only have 2 lives refreshing at checkpoints. Oh, is this a getting over it level? This might not be a hard level so much as just a frustrating level. No, maybe just that part. Nah, this level looks easy. I think we can do it. I think we got it. Easy. Easy. So yeah, the basic thing will be that, the basic thing is just that, you know, you get fewer tries if you're not here, and that's just my way of balancing, you know, prioritizing the people who are present versus the ones who are not, you know? Just want to be fair to those who are, you know, waiting, while also playing more levels, because I do find that playing more levels is, fun, you know? Like, this level's cool. Imagine not getting to check it out this week. Instead, just waiting until, you know, the next time Alter for Walter is available. You know. I feel like I had something else to say. Oh yeah, I'll also say this. You know, since I finished this current level... Nice. Nice little challenge. It's like a series of nice little challenges. It's not bad. The only way I think we'd die is if we timed out. Or if we, like, beefed it really goofy. I like Mario 1, 3, and World levels. The other versions, you're not a fan. I like to use, I like to, use every style equally. That's my hang-up. I like to spread around the love, you know? Make sure that every theme and every style is being utilized well. That's how I like to do it. I was gonna say, with the last level of World 7 done, we're now on to the next level, which is the first level of World 8. We died. It's done. Thank you for level, Alter for Walter. I wasn't able to finish it, what with the sudden death. Would have probably been able to do it in the lightning round had you been here, but unfortunately you weren't. So next time I would love to have another go at it. If you submit it another time. One more level here in the queue. Yeah, next level, let's go. And the next person up is Jado Ninja. Jado Ninja was just here before the last level. Pretty sure is still here. I think you're getting the full contingent of Mario heads. Contingent of Mario heads. I don't usually call it a contingent, but it is a contingent. It's not a bad word for it. Hell yeah. I'll tell you about the next level I'm working on, which I might have, after the Sunday stream. I'm not going to do a regular Monday stream, but I might do a Tuesday night making stream where I kick off the development of the next level and and start brainstorming ideas for it. The level is called Sunburned Sanctuary. Sunburned Sanctuary. And the basic idea is that it is a link level. It is a link level. It is a platform level, at least in parts. And it is a sun level. The sun will make an appearance for the first time in any level I have ever made. I have never used the sun before because it turns out the sun is hard to make dangerous unless you don't have platforms that are above it's like a very narrow range. Outside of an auto-scroller, there's a very narrow range of vertical heights where the sun becomes dangerous. Could we help you design it on stream? Yes, sure. If you have suggestions when we do this, it'll be Tuesday night making. It'll be me starting brainstorming and streaming the start of development of that level. And yes, if you have ideas, if you have feedback, opinions, all that, absolutely, you can shout them out during that stream. I'm thinking Tuesday, but we'll see if that ends up happening. Like I said, I don't know how long the Persona stream is going to go. I might be just really burnt out after the Persona stream and just want to take Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday off from streaming. But my tentative plans is Tuesday at some time. Maybe 8 p.m. Central. Let's say around 8. I'm not sure what my sleep schedule will be like by then, but let's just pencil in 8 p.m. and maybe for an hour or two of making. Focus mostly on making during that stream. Let's do it. Last level from Jado Ninja. What the fuck? Holy shit.
Oh no!
Oh, this is cool. I love it already. Whoa, there were 2 balloon pops there for some reason. Don't know why, that just happened. Sometimes it's funny like that.
Oh no!
I'm not jumping at the right time here, but this is very fast-paced. And I like how everything is just sort of popping off all at once. It's very intuitive about what you need to do. Despite the speed, despite how fast we you have to take it. Right. I wonder how tight the timer is here. We're on our last try already. Well, that's what happens with a fast level. How long's the length? 26 seconds. Okay. Okay, it's regular length for one of these levels. We can do it. How far in are we now? That's probably... That's it, isn't it? Yeah, we were timed out there. We would have timed out there in any case. That seems really damn cool. I bet I could beat it if given more tries, but such is the lightning round. You know, we gotta hold true to the rules, how we do things. I would love to have you resubmit that another time, you know, on another stream, and give that another shot and actually beat it. That would be lovely. Barker just played one of my levels. This level is triggersome. What sick mind made this? I love it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Really liked it. All right, folks. I'm gonna hit next just to clear out that last one, so next time, there won't be an extra level in queue that we forgot about. But, yeah, it's time to end the stream. And time to, do a raid. Really appreciated y'all coming by, watching me play Mario Maker, giving me a bunch of levels to play, and watching me show off my own wide variety of shit. Let's see who's online. Ticklebits is doing a birthday stream. Team Kayla is doing Code Veronica. You know what we gotta do? I was tempted to do like I know this guy who does Mario Maker, who does 0% level dumpster diving, who's from a Discord I'm on. But I gotta go with Professor Ticklebits, who's doing a birthday stream right now. That's just, it's his birthday, It's his birthday, so we gotta do it. Alright, folks, let me bring up the schedule, bring up the thing before the raid goes in. I'm doing the long haul finale, Persona 5 Royale, long haul. It's ending Sunday at 2 p.m. Central. 2 Mentos targets, the final 8 days of the game, the final boss, a bunch of cutscenes, other stuff, the ending, Valentine's Day, final exams. However long that takes, and I don't know how long it'll take. Really, the final boss, I think, is the real X factor there that could make it last somewhat long. That'll be all done on Sunday, and, we'll be on to new things after that. What new things? Well, probably Pikmin 1, 2, and 3, switching games every 3 days, every 3 in-game days, starting on next Thursday. And Monday or Tuesday, we might do the Mario Maker making stream. I'll say on the Discord which day it is going to be, but I'm going to pencil in Tuesday. I'm thinking Tuesday right now. That's what I'm thinking. Not sure what we're going to be doing further, like after Persona is done for sure, but again, Sunday, 2 p.m., big event stream. I'll see you then. Y'all have a good weekend. Bye, folks.